we left off last time, we were getting ourselves together after the attack of the Coma Cell monks, trying to take something from Fox. And we were basically trying to get the hell out of the way there so that we could get to a point where he could explain himself. We ended up running into some giants along the way who wanted to know why we were in the area. We were just there in order to, try and lose the scent of the Coma Cell monks, and eventually we convinced them of that, but and we were on our merry way, but not before they tossed a freaking boulder at us because it was just a prank, bro. And so after a little bit of travel, we made it to the base of the ziggurat and decided to make camp there, and we sort of talked things out with Fox to kind of explain that, hey, I'm trying to keep this thing away out of other people's hands, and the Coma Cell monks are trying to do that too, but I think that this would kind of be a better thing that's handled by individuals as opposed to a whole group. We sort of got the feeling that while he wasn't exactly lying, he wasn't telling the whole story either, so there wasn't a whole lot said in that department, and we agreed to try and alert the group, even if we couldn't tell specifics about if anything about us might be dangerous. Fat load of good that promise ended up being later on in the session. So we woke up and we wanted to go explore the ziggurat like we were planning on doing. We were expecting it to just, be a pretty quiet time looking at ruins. First we had a look at a statue thing, which after a little bit of investigation, reminded Loki of the particular figure he saw in the vision from the statuettes that Cushing was after. And there was a little bit of debate over who that figure was. Was that Igborath? Was that Chelonius? Was that even Tumakin? Well, we were on our way to the ziggurat to go ahead and find that out, and we were looking around. It seemed like it was a much more impressive place at one point, but, it's frozen under a glacier, so it had suffered a whole lot more decay. There's plants in the courtyard, some other things. And just as we were trying to get into the cave-in entrance, Nia noticed something. Air that was beating like a... Currents of air that were beating like a heart, and then suddenly, BAM! Dragon lands. Everyone tries to hide. Everyone fails to hide because, as it turns out, the dragon has kind of been following us for a while. And can detect that we've got some stuff related to the engineer, the Horned King, and the Pentarchy on our persons. And due to crimes against the North, it's time for us to get taken to their court, or whatever. And so, we all hop onto the dragon. Matrix in particular is terrified of the dragons, and off we go, going eastward across Forest at a breakneck pace till we get to this massive mountain that's apparently the dragon's perch, and we get escorted in. And there we go ahead and we meet not our lawyer, our liaison, Bonqua, who is apparently going to help us, at least introduce us in making our case to the North, who is apparently the goddess of the Avians, so-called, anyway, after another god abandoned them a while ago. So we kind of are hashing this out a little bit. They were mad about the particular attack made with the wolves on their people and the taking of some of the Horde's property. We sort of explained that, hey, we didn't really mean to do that. We were trying to defend what we thought were some innocent dwarves. And after our first encounters with Aviancy, we thought that they were, kind of all bandits who stole things. And then another thing that would bolster our case is the fact we took care of the tree under Kandarin, or as they would call it, the aberration under Tirafon. So there's a lot of discussion around that, but Notrix is particularly terrified because, hey, when he was a young kid, he had a friend, Medix. They went up into the mountains, and Medix ended up getting killed by a brutal blue dragon action, which is incidentally why Arix is mad at Notrix, which is why he's terrified and can't really speak of a thing. It's a little bit of worried of like, hey, what if the Pentarchy stuff comes up? Because we've done some things that they may not like in that department. And so it's generally agreed that, Yeah, Alcana and Dawn are going to sort of lead the charge on our defense. Yeah, and then sort of as they're going to bed, Dawn and Alcana have a little bit of a counseling chat because they're particularly worried about all the stuff related to, yeah, the Pentarchy and how Alcana's like, you know what? It would have been just kind of a, hey, this is a thing I did for business, except it's kind of more personal now, and I'd rather not lose that. I'd rather not lose that. And this whole like, oh, it's a thing you do once and then it's all over, like versus oh, the ongoing thing that she's doing with trying to save the knot now is a lot tougher. And well, Don's a reassuring ear in telling her that yeah, things will go okay. Hey, and that hey, you're on the right track and all. So the morning comes, and we are escorted to the chamber full of dragons and the massive six-winged massive dragon on that seems to be on life support, overseeing a massive horde to the north. Donqua introduces us, and then we have to get to start giving our defense. Don's the main one to do that. And while he definitely tries to make a lot of arguments to sway, there is a lot of show trial theatrics going on with showing all of these like crippled aviancy. Oh hey, you think that these are bandits? Oh, you're stealing out of the mouths of our children. And as this goes on, the subject indeed of the stuff that was brought up before, related to the engineer, the Horned King, and the Pentarchy comes up, and the people get searched. Some stuff gets pulled off Elkanah, some stuff gets pulled off Loki, and then when it comes to Fox desperately tries to get them to stop. As they pull open a bag, the cloth under rolls open, a very malevolent-looking black purpley crystal is revealed, and suddenly all hell breaks loose. A dragon raises down the crippled Aviancy. Everyone is brawling. It's like some kind of a bomb got set off, except in this case it's to be people are losing their minds. And Fox tells everyone to touch a certain crystal. Everyone just kind of gathers up their things. They get Gonqua helps them find a dragon who was not affected. They jump on the dragon, and the druids coordinate their spells effortfully in order to bind dragons down and put the wind against them so that they can escape. But where are we going to escape to? Frick if I know, that's where we left off.
Yeah, so not so long.
See, I've got a damn good memory for this.
Yes.
I'm really tired.
And that is where you find yourselves clutched one after the other. Fox sort of at the head of the dragon, Logi and Notrix at the tail. And you can see there is still starshine out among these icy blasts that seem to almost blow through you. You can feel this frigid air growing raw in your sinuses. You can see more dragons kind of swarming around this peak, the Weathermaker's Perch, as they were when you arrived, seemingly oblivious to what happened. The dragon, coppery, that you are on the back of, its wings flapping, pushing itself off somewhere east, maybe even a little bit south of that peak. You still feel the adrenaline, the blood pumping in your legs, in your veins, not sure what happened. And as you see Gonqua kind of almost grasping more onto the neck of the dragon, kind of almost straddling it alongside Fox, he, even in his avian feathered features, this hard beak, it seems like it would be harder to read his emotions, but you can see that he's conflicted, confused, and he sort of shakes his head. It says back to you, almost shouting over the roar of the wind in this icy, sort of still dark morning. He says, No, this is wrong. They were hurt back there. We need to go back. We need to see if we can help them. What is it that happened? And Fox immediately pipes up, No, we cannot do that. That is not an option right now. Keep going on. East and south. East and south. That is where we must go. No, we must. And then Gonqua turns towards this dragon and starts chattering something in this sort of guttural language that you've heard before. And then Fox starts trying to talk over him to the dragon as well. And now that you hear them both speaking together, you can tell they are both speaking the same language. They both have that same collection of consonants and sort of guttural sounds. And as they're talking over each other, the dragon seems to almost like tread water in the air, sort of comes to a bit of a slow halt, a slow circle, unsure if it should move forward or back.
Well, hey, Fox!
Yes.
What the hell? Like, what's happening to them? Is whatever just happened to them temporary or something?
I hope so. This is not the place to talk about it when we are suspended hundreds of feet up in the air. He shouts something back to the dragon in that same guttural language, and you see that it's almost like him and Gonqua are in a shouting match, almost trying to yell above each other and the wind.
Gunqual, what do you think we could do if we went back? You saw how the dragons are reacting. We'd be incinerated within minutes.
But they could. There's something we could do. There has to be. And what if they did something to the north?
If the North can't protect herself, I don't know if we could do it for her. I mean, she is a goddess, and we're just people.
Do you think she could be hurt?
I don't know, but it seems like it might be wise to at least wait it out a little bit before attempting to return.
See, that is exactly it. We need to keep going. We need to get far away from this place. We need to get somewhere where we will be safe. To the east and to the south. As quickly as we can.
Safe from what folks? The dragons or something else?
I think that the dragons who are breathing fire and lightning and poison indiscriminately are sort of the biggest priority right now.
Well, Gagqua, can't you go back and tell other dragons that weren't affected what's going on?
Yes, I should at least do that. And you see Fox kind of put a hand on Gonqua's feathered shoulder and say, look, our best chance is to make distance. You go back there, there's no telling what will happen to you if you will return or if it'll affect you. Look, the closer you are to me right now, the better your chance at this thing. Let's move forward. I would like Don, Alcana, or Nautrix, one of you guys, to roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Arcana or Dawn?
Or persuasion? Yeah, I can do it.
Dawn do it. I think he was maybe. Oh, it's foresight that.
Oh my god.
Well, I did say with advantage.
Oh, sorry. There we
Yeah, you see Gonqua, he sort of very reluctantly, he sort of taps the side of the dragon. And finally, the dragon sort of starts flapping again, and Gonqua sort of looks, I do not like this. We make distance for now, but then we will talk, we will discuss, we will understand what has happened here.
I think we all agree.
But yes, I have my suspicions, but I suppose I ought to let the man himself speak.
You all suddenly feel, even in this frigid mountain air, sort of pulling these, still with these rough black cloaks around you, it seems to go down about 10 degrees. Then you see Fox turn his head back, and his mouth just kind of goes slack.
Is something wrong?
As you look back the direction that Fox is looking, you can see that there is this billowing cloud of what looks like ice, mist, fog, whatever it is, coming up from the bottom of the mountain. It looks almost like an avalanche in reverse. And as it comes up, it seems to roil, looking something more like almost like boiling water on its surface, the texture of it. And you can see this roiling cloud of ice is just growing up over the mountain and rising, and looks like it's becoming just this wall, this airborne tidal wave coming right towards you. Fox turns around. Fly! Fly, damn it!
Yes, distance. That's the right.
Yeah. Go.
Move! There's no time!
The dragon, sort of with renewed strength, beats its wings, is flying forward, trying to outrun this effect. You see the cloud is expanding, gaining on you, seeming to take 10 feet for every 1 feet you fly.
Can Dawn? Is it possible for Dawn to cast Wind Wall?
To cast Wind Wall?
Yeah, like behind them, like kind of vertically.
Uh,
Or no, I
sure. Let's see what Wind Wall does.
All right.
Ooh.
All
It
right,
is-
a wall of strong wind.
50 feet long.
Feet long, 15 feet high, and 1 foot thick. Yeah, I'll allow that, sure.
Yeah. I would like to kind of position it like behind the dragon, and I mean, I'm sure it doesn't move with us, right? But at the very least, I would try to position it so that the mist like just gets kicked back a bit.
Yeah, you position it almost like a bonnet behind you. You can see this just huge wave of icy mist advancing on you, and then suddenly you can see almost like there's a huge brick in the middle of it, an invisible brick that it molds around, and it seems like it gains you a brief reprieve. You're able to make a little bit more distance from it, but you can already tell it's starting to consume. Even this big 50-foot wide brick is starting to get lost in the mist. And you see Fox sort of squinting through the vague impressions of mountain peaks visible in this wind flurries before you. Kind of taps back to you, Notrix, and he says, "Notrix, can you make out anything? This is all unfamiliar territory for me. It's hard to make out the best path without being caught in an updraft."
You want me to navigate?
Navigator.
I can try. Can't say I've got familiarity with flight at the moment.
Hey, none of us do, but this dragon in Gonqua, and I don't think Gonqua is going to be much help there.
Here, let me help.
Everyone else concentrate on what's behind us. I'll try and navigate it. If anyone has any ideas to speed up this dragon or slow down that ice, well...
Okay, it's going to cost bless on the dragon, Notrix, and Fox.
Oh, wow, very nice. Okay.
Very nice.
So, Notrix, as you squint through... Wait, do you still have dark vision cast on you?
I don't know at all, actually.
Dawn casts dark vision.
Oh, all right. Great. Yeah, and as you feel sort of Alkana's hand on one arm and Dawn's tiny hand on another, you feel yourself empowered for a minute, and also feel this kind of dark landscape before you suddenly come more into focus. Go ahead and roll either a perception or a survival check, Notrix.
Perception or survival? Lovely. Now let's see. Ooh.
Oh, Beautiful.
Can I add my bless to that? Wait,
Sure.
I get to do that for free anyway, don't I?
Yeah. It's not consumed. It's just for a minute.
30, hey.
30. 30, that's still better than a 29. So, Notrix, why don't you describe the insight you have, the path that you perceive through these dark, craggy, icy peaks?
Oh god. How do I justify Notrix being so good at... oh well, okay.
What's the practice?
So, Notrix, despite never... Oh, what do I do?
I mean, he was flying pretty high with the visions he had at the help of Yun-Lo.
I suppose. But, Notrix, even though he hasn't taken the form of a flying animal yet so far in this adventure, somehow just having the ability to turn into a flight, the potential, somehow allows him to understand what he's seeing, the movement of air currents and just the air current, and how to fly. So he running completely on adrenaline, which is overcoming his fear, adrenaline and I guess anger, sort of, which is overcoming his fear of dragons currently. He sort of goes to the front and points out. I guess he just points in the direction he thinks the dragon should be going. So Notrix is out front, pointing the way.
Yeah. And as Notrix, as you point, you see this dragon. You almost feel this shrinking back in you as its reptilian eye looks back at you, but it seems to focus in on your finger, your hand, this beacon forward, and it follows it. And you see, as you almost feel your stomach lurch as you dip down, you see that you kind of wind around this one craggy peak, wind around another. You seem to actually be evading this growing cloud of ice for a minute at least to zoom up around Corkscrew. Finally, you come out and you feel like you can see that the peaks are starting to recede a little bit, that it's less of these forbidding spikes coming up out of the mountains and more of a traditional rocky ridge, but you can still feel the cold around you. And as you look back, you see that while you have evaded the cloud for the last minute, it is still gaining, still expanding. And as the dragon continues to beat its wings, suddenly you watch as this roiling wall of ice over the dragon's tail, over Logi, over the rest of the party, and you are all suddenly lost in this icy mist. You can feel almost like the moisture in your skin freezing, feel ice picking up on the unshaven whiskers on some of you. I need everybody to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Is Don fine?
Except for Dawn?
Oh yeah, I guess Dawn is fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm foresighting that. That was terrible!
Sorry, I need to roll for Nia. Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Oh yeah, put up a +2.
All right. So
Wait, something went
everyone.
wrong in my maths there. I meant to have bless and +2 to roll it manually. Or when you didn't roll it for me.
Oh,
That's actually a 30. Oh, it doesn't matter, but yeah.
so 13 with Alcana's aura.
Yeah, I was just confused why it said +0. It was meant to be a D4 and +2.
Okay.
But go.
Well, anyways, for everyone who got below a 15, you take 5 cold damage as you feel this chill roil through you. Fox is kind of wheezing and damn it, it's cold. You at least bought us some distance. Where next?
I don't know, I can't see. In the cloud. Can anyone do something?
Gongqua, you sort of hear his low voice under this. This is not the mountain. This is the north. Something must be anguishing her.
Us! Did you not see what happened?
I can't make anything out. I don't think any of us can, but we need to at least make a guess of what direction to head next, or else this storm will swallow us up and leave us as icicles on the ground.
Can
Okay.
Nia try her best to use a spyglass to try to see through something? Like anything.
Sure, if Nia wants to make the next guidance check for the group, she can.
Okay. What would that be? Guidance check? Is that a...
Perception or survival, but it's at disadvantage now.
Okay. Even with the glass?
Even with the glass, yeah.
Or survival.
Sure you want to roll that with...
Is bad.
So with disadvantage, it's still a 23.
Woo!
So as Nia tries to put up the spyglass, it doesn't seem like it's doing very good, and you can see that the front of it is almost just frozen over. She has to about 5 times wipe off the frost building on the end concave lens with the edge of her coat. She finally puts it down and seems to have an idea where to go.
Fly through there. I'm pretty sure there's no terrain in the way. And she like points out, like probably like closer to the ground somewhere where they'd probably be free to glide from.
How can you know? We cannot see anything through the storm. This is a magical storm. This is the anguish, the rage of the north.
Follow what she says, damn it. And he kicks off the dragon and once more does a dive. You all feel yourselves clutch white-knuckled onto its back as it swoops down. You still feel this chill around you, but you feel like you don't crash into anything. You don't get lost. You can tell which way you are going. But then you can hear this roll, this thunder, something else building up within this storm. I would like one of you guys to roll a d12 for me. Let's say Logie. Logie hasn't done a roll yet. So it feels like it's growing colder and colder, and you can see these ice crystals beginning to break up and turn into this finer, but if anything, more biting snow swirling around you. As you are trying to make your way through it, I need everyone to make another Constitution save.
Just with my shit rolls today.
God, Nia's OP.
All right. Alcana and Natrix.
Oh, I rolled a 17. No, wait.
Oh,
16.
you got a 17, Natrix? 16?
Because of Bless and Arcana's aura. I don't know why it's doing a +0. It should be plus actual stuff.
Okay. Alcana, as you are gripping on, you take 9 cold damage, and you feel yourself chittering. Feel this cold seeping into you. You take a level of exhaustion, Alcana.
Gonna give myself 15 points of lay on hands.
Yeah, a little bit of warmth in this storm as you feel yourself healed, but even then, it is cold comfort. Fox heals back. We still need to get out of this storm. And Gonqua says,
Well, the rage, the range in which she can exert her force, it is not much further than this. If we can just make one last push.
We can do it, all right?
Can I look down and see how the dragon's doing? Is it also being affected by the cold, or is it somewhat immune?
The dragon seems to be maybe not immune, but just such a hardy beast that even with what cold has affected it, it's still pressing on.
Okay. So
Yeah, the dragon does not look like it's in danger of like falling unconscious anytime soon.
But is its movement being hampered at all by the storm?
Yes, it is seemingly struggling a bit more to flap its wings. It's definitely it's become a bumpier ride just for this dragon to keep level, to keep from bucking you off. It's having a harder time.
Can Dawn cast a guidance on our boy dragon?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Just in case he needs to, we check.
Does the dragon already have bless?
Well, it's been
Whatever.
more than a minute by now.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have one more question then.
yes.
Not Trix thinks about Mona's manual and the spell that disperses winds. Does he think that it would be strong enough to disperse these winds?
Probably not. With his experience looking through that manual, kind of attuning to what the spells do, you think that's more for like it's more a light breeze that dispels kind of stationary gases. You don't think it'll be a ton of help to you here.
Okay. Okay, I have a question. So, is this wind coming kind of from all directions, or is
Yes,
it
it is just like swirling around. You are lost in this cloud, this just white, cold nothingness, and it is buffeting you from above, below, back, front.
is it possible to try to block the blow of the wind from one of the maybe behind by using create or destroy water? Create water? Maybe I could push the wind away with the water?
Huh, you get that idea, Dawn. It feels like it would be pretty tricky. Like you could try it, but it may have a slim chance of working.
Does Don think that it'll be detrimental somehow? If he were to accidentally get water on the dragon, it would mess him up somehow.
It's hard to know.
You know what? Maybe that's a bad idea. I think, you know what? Oh, instead, can I use Druidcraft, just to focus on one area? One little spot on the dragon. Maybe free up his tail a bit. Or one of the wings.
I don't think that Druidcraft is gonna do that in this sort of a storm. This storm is not all natural. There's also a magical element to it, and Druidcraft is a little phenomenon that manifests in your hand.
That's understandable. Okay. In that case, oh, you know what? One thing Don wants to do.
What's that?
So he's on the back of this dragon, right? Kind of holding on to someone.
Yeah.
Can you find kind of a loose scale and try to take off his ring and put it on the scale?
Put his ring on the scale?
Yeah, give him the fire resistance.
You need to attune to it. That's not going to help right now.
Okay, fine.
I love the idea.
Alright, Don's useless.
It's a neat idea, but it doesn't really work.
Damn.
Yeah, and as I said, this dragon looks like it's doing a lot better with just withstanding the weather than most of you guys are.
Yeah,
Is there anyone who's doing particularly poorly at withstanding the weather at the moment?
Yeah, right now you are all just struggling to hold on, and Fox looks back and he says, I think we can do it with just one last push.
Alright, let's do it then. Go!
It is pushing itself. Hear the wings beating. And who is going to help direct this dragon which way to go?
Do you want to do it, Leighton, or do you want Nia to go again?
Nia, I suppose.
All right. Roll perception or survival for Nia with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Perception.
Grief.
God.
Man, she's
OP.
so good. God damn it.
Only when Seth isn't rolling.
Yeah, you. So, as Nia, you kind of try to stay the course, pointing the way through these clouds. You still feel this chill seeping into you, threatening to do even more harm. I need everyone to roll one last Constitution save.
Oh, now you decide.
God damn
Oh,
it!
never mind. Nope, she's good.
Why am I sucking ass in all these con saves today?
Oh, you should have healed myself. Oh dear.
Why are we all sucking ass at these con saves?
All right, so everyone who got under a 15, you take another 5 points of cold damage.
1 hit point.
But you can feel that even as this another wave of this chill sweeps over you, you can see that this storm is starting to thin. And as the dragon even seems to fly a little bit erratically, you can see a bit of almost ice forming in the corners of the joints between its wings and its body. It makes a sweep back, pushes up. Bits of ice crystals flake off, crunch, go flying off, lost in the wind, and it pushes out of this cloud. You look back and you can see just this roiling ice behind you, looking angry, looking almost like something alive. But before you, you can see the sun on the horizon. Finally, sunrise coming up.
Cure wounds on Notrix.
Yeah, same. Give him 2. Give him 2.
Sure. Notrix said this. Thank you. I think I almost backed out there. Wouldn't be good on it.
Akana definitely looks like she's got a few patches of, like, what would have been frostbite.
Oh. Well, we made it. We made it. God.
Now, for God's sakes, can we find somewhere safe to put us down? Unless you think this isn't far enough, folks.
I know somewhere that I think should be safe. Just keep guiding this dragon to the south and to the east. Straight line. Hopefully we should arrive there before night comes again.
All right. Sounds good. I think Nia would take out her compass, and then like she and I'm sure Dotrix would help out the dragon.
You're taking out the compass?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, are you talking about the same compass?
Well, I mean, we have a compass, right?
You have a special
like-
compass as well.
Oh, not like
Did you mean the spyglass?
yes. Yes,
Oh,
I did
okay.
need the spyglass. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, you can take out the compass if you want. We haven't looked at that in a while.
Okay. I mean, yeah. As long as I don't have to make a save to hold on to it in the air.
No, I won't make you make a save to hold on to it.
Yes. Yeah.
So you take out that odd compass, sort of. Wait, was it Nia who was holding on to that, or Dawn?
It was gone.
Yeah, Dawn, you pull out this compass, and it's kind of, you hold it with both hands at your size, and it's like a little crystal ball with an odd sort of representation of Verintry within it. That stone needle that says Shatterflow on it, and as you look at it, try to read it, you can see that it appears to be pointing somewhere just slightly off from the direction you're headed. I'll go ahead and make a line.
Fine.
Let's see. Can you see that, or is that too light? I can make it a different color.
Is it this? Oh wait.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's a thin line, but you can see it's going that
Oh, I see.
direction.
Yes. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Dawn kind of holds it up to, like, Natrix and Nia, I guess. And I suggest we go southeast.
It's not quite pointing to where Fork says he knows somewhere safe. But, well, we can look at that later, I think.
Heh.
Yeah, right now safety is our number one concern. Thawing out a bit.
I got a few questions for Fox. He whispers this so Fox isn't.
I think he has a few ones for us too, to be fair, but I understand.
So, you continue to fly. The wind's still biting, but never quite as harshly, never quite as viciously, seeming to follow the line of the peaks of the mountains. And actually, as daylight comes, it becomes more clear, more of an icy blue cold. You can see this long line of mountain range that snow-kissed that seems to wind its way down down through Farinthri. You see the sun make a rather swift ascent into the sky before again descending. And it is nearly sunset, though only a number of hours, far less than 8, when you finally you spot something down on the ground. It's what Fox seems to be paying attention to, and it's easy to overlook, situated as it is among the lower slopes of these mountains. But you can see that there are these smaller hillocks, ridges that look far more regular, that seem to be laid out in rows. And you can also see from the sky these wide, they must be ice pools, what must have been ponds or something that have been frozen over. But they're striking because they catch these elaborate patterns. They look natural, but they're almost like these fractal patterns of, one of them looks like it's blues, and one of them looks like it's greens, and one of them looks like it's orange. That must have been some kind of sediment or something caught in the ice as it froze. But it is around here that Fox again barks something to the dragon in that same sort of harsh tongue. And it begins circling and circling until it finally lets you down onto a more level slope in the mountains, but still a little bit of a distance, kind of half a hike away from that spot that Fox seemed to pay attention to. And you, once again, the ground feeling wobbly under your feet after these hours on this dragon, get off and feel the snow crunch underneath you.
How are we alive?
Sir Doman's grace and other graces, I suppose.
Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna start making a tiny hut. All right.
I was about to ask. Good thinking.
Oh,
Yep.
folks, is this the spot, or do we need to move down to whatever that thing is? And Nodrix points to the strange patterns.
Fox kind of looks around, and you can see through this sort of afternoon glow, reflecting off of the snow, almost making things brighter. he assesses. You're kind of almost in this valley. You've got sort of peaks rising to the north, to the west, and to the south of you. And he says, here is at least protected, and we've made quite a bit of distance. I think we should be okay with a tiny hut here.
All right, here, let me set it up. Don gets to work. Yeah. I'd say he makes it like he's just gonna keep it simple, make it look like the rock face so that we're blended in.
You can see the dragon has just flattened itself onto its belly, wings sort of folded over it. But even this dragon looks exhausted, just kind of its scaly arms splayed out. Gonqua, though, looks a bit more troubled. See him holding his spear more defensively than anything, but he says,
Who are you people? Who are you really?
We all are who we said we were. But
So a more formal name for our group is the Waves.
I think, well, somebody here has explaining to do.
Yep. We all look at Fox.
I kind of look towards Fox. Is definitely still as critical, but is a bit more sympathetic.
he kind of looks around and says, maybe we should wait until after Don is finished casting his hut. It'll take a couple more minutes at least.
Fine. Is that thing or whatever you were carrying? Is it secure? You had it in a special bag. Did you recover the bag, or was it destroyed?
I recovered the bag. I believe it should be secure now. But hopefully here we will be able to secure it better.
What do you mean by that?
At this, Gonqua kind of interrupts. He says,
You. All of you. You are users of dangerous forces. I have heard of things like this before. Things that are really like a nightmare of a different past. Things that the Weathermaker is once sworn against. And I do not know how you came to bring this evil here. How you came to bring it to the Weathermaker's perch.
Well, in case we haven't made it already clear enough, most of us weren't aware we were bringing whatever on Gielinor this is. We weren't aware we were bringing it into the Weathermaker's perch. We have just as much an idea of what was happening as you did.
So you say it is a parasite, riding alongside you unawares.
But we don't know if it's alive. It's not alive, is it?
Well, Fox is alive for now, but I'm not sure I'd call him a parasite just yet.
Matrix.
These things like this. I am more privy than most as an exalted Avianzi, as an attendant in the court of the North. And in the past century, especially the past few years, things like this have begun to stir. The North once had many eyes and many hands. Those eyes have been blinded. And those hands have receded, have turned from the sword and the shield to embracing her own children. It is not my place to question the North, but I had heard rumblings, vague thoughts of something like this. The fear it could happen somewhere. I never thought I would see it happen in our own home.
Do you think at this point Don would be done with his tiny hut?
Sure, we can say at this point the tiny hut kind of pings into existence.
Oh, it
And
seems we
Get
have
inside.
a couple of people a lot more knowledgeable than the rest of us there.
Hmm.
I am not knowledgeable. I only hear bits, dregs, eaves that are dropped. But the North fears, and all thinking people should fear, what progresses beyond her vision, beyond her eyes around the world that have been blinded. They once operated swiftly and in secret to deter such things. But now something that does not fear the gods has its eyes on lost power. This... He looks around. I am too far from the perch. I do not know why I allowed all of you to talk me into continuing. I will depart, but I will be back for you sooner or later, especially you, Fox.
I'm quite, how to say, your dragon friend seems in no condition to make that journey backwards, back to the Weathersmaker's perch. Well, you don't know what you'd find on your arrival.
He may be in tough condition to make it the swift way, the hard way over the mountains, but we can make the slower path around.
He speaks in that guttural language. The dragon turns back, kind of opens its throat, and in a deep tone mirrors it, saying, but clearly intelligent, clearly syllabic. And finally, the dragon heavily rises to its feet, spreads out its wings, rises into the sky, and Gonghua, rather than riding on its back, spreads out his own wings and flies up alongside it. And he says,
This is not the last.
Then he turns around, and both he and this copper dragon over the western ridge and disappear from view as you see the sun starting to set.
Well, now that we're alone,
Indeed.
I kind of hoped you would stay. They offer a different perspective on things, I think.
To be fair, he doesn't exactly have a ton of reason to like us.
and
Indeed.
I get the feeling he wouldn't have an idea about any of this. But well, Fox,
Yes, let's get in out of the cold.
okay. I assume we all walk into the tiny hut.
Yeah, you all cluster into the tiny hut. What does the tiny hut look like on the outside?
On the outside, it just kind of looks like the wall that it's against. I'd say, like, Don's not too in the mood to make it look like a snow pyramid.
All right.
Okay. I think, Nia would go up to Fox and just say, okay, Fox, there are 3 ways this will go down. A, we'll ask you a series of questions, and you'll answer them, probably out of order. It'll probably be a little chaotic. B, we'll give you the floor, let you explain yourself. And then I think Don chimes in. Or 3, we'll beat it out of you.
And well, I hate to have to do this, but I think we need this now more than ever. And Alkana holds up her holy symbol and goes ahead and casts Zone of Truth.
Oh man.
Bring out the big guns.
Ooh.
And that's a failure from Fox.
How many of us have to roll that?
It's uh
It is.
yeah, that covers the entire tiny hut, so I guess everyone has to roll.
As we're all sharing.
So yeah, what's it gonna be?
Wait,
8?
is it a wisdom saving throw?
Oh wait, no, it's a charisma saving throw. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm so used to those kind of things being wisdom saves. Charisma save. Sorry, let's re-roll those. He still fails.
I'm so mad, Don. Can I have disadvantage because Don's an idiot?
Sure.
So, remind me, if you meet the DC, is that a pass or a failure?
That's you succeed if you meet the DC.
Okay.
Well, Fox failed it, and that's what I care about.
Yeah, Fox kind of pulls his knees into himself, and he kind of pulls out his oboe, kind of wets the reed a little bit. He starts playing, just sort of playing scales, a major scale, minor scale. And he does more of a gypsy sounding diminished scale.
Don't think we're here to listen to you play music.
Indeed, the longer you keep quiet about it, the more the risk that something like this happens again. And I would rather not see more lives lost, either physically or to madness. We're sworn to be protectors and tell the truth, aren't we?
Yes, I suppose that is true, though. You know, a funny story about that. I trained for several months, so many months with Master Shai Hanin, but never actually got around to the ceremony of completing my final vows. Of course, I still try to uphold the tenets of the shield sworn wherever I can. It does not interfere with other obligations, but
Fox, listen. We don't mean to overwhelm you, okay? But
Well, and I think Don chimes in and he says, "By the way, that stone you had before." I look at Logi and Alkana, and I
What?
say, "That stone. It looked like the same thing that Chang Gok had back in Kanoka. Remember?
And
The thing he used to tell people away."
it's just going straight wide. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, didn't you see it? It was like purple, it was
Yeah.
dark black, and it gave it the same vibe.
I saw it when Shangok was using it, but it's just like, now she's especially glancing at Fox. He has one of those things? Damn it!
on Kanoka.
Yep.
Yes. Now let's just say the last we heard of that bastard, he has somehow got himself a new set of dark powers with an unknown source. Well, I think I have a better guess as to where those came from now.
and I'm sure you know too.
I did not think it was on Kanoka.
You knew it was out there.
Well, regardless of what this is, clearly there's more of a reason than ever to find out just what the hell is going on with this. I think we might know more about this stuff than you give us credit for, Fox.
Yeah.
That may be true, but I may also know a little bit more about you than you realize.
That wouldn't surprise me if you did, honestly.
So, I don't know. What is What is the first thing that you want to know?
First of all, where did you get that and what is it, to the best of your knowledge?
That is a long story.
We have time.
Let's
think
start.
If you think it's too big of a question to answer, maybe you could start earlier.
Shall we start with where I got it?
Yes, that would be good to know.
Sure.
I was not always named Arnold Fox. It is a name I have only had for a little over a year. Before that, I had no name. None of us did.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, what?
It was our way of rejecting ego, rejecting ambition, rejecting the sort of unrestrained drive for power that can turn you into that which you protect against. That our vow, that our anonymity was part of that vow. That included our names, our faces, our voices.
So the ones who came after you with the dragon. That's who you came from? Where you came from?
Yes. I was born, as I understand it, into the Komuso order. I presumably had parents who were monks in the order, but we do not encourage family ties. All of us are one, all of us carry the same rank, all of us have the same duties.
I see.
Well,
I ask.
if it is
That-
part of the tale, could you explain more about what those duties are, what the order is about? Well, that can be saved till later if you think it's not directly relevant.
The leaders of the Komuso, they are figures who have transcended their humanity, who have transcended their physical form, but they have also sacrificed their identity completely, sacrificed even their ability to exert an influence on this plane. You might say that they have the divinity of gods, but none of the power. We call them bodhisattva. And he kind of reaches into that same odd bag, pulls out that golden crystal, is a piece of him. Well, a piece of what became part of our bodhisattva, but it is older than that. He pulls that out, lays it in front of you on the floor of the tiny hut. And then he reaches in again, and he pulls out that light purple crystal, lays it next to it, points to the light purple crystal. Idvorath points to the golden crystal. Idvorath. And he pats his bag. Idvorath.
Yep, and you can just see the absolute look that crosses Alkana's eyes as she hears that name said out loud 3 times. Like, yep, that's the one.
Alcana and Dawn, you know this name, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, more than I'd like.
Do the rest of you as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
These, and he sweeps up that golden and light purple crystal in one hand, are pieces of the form of Idvarath, but pieces that have been cleansed. This one, he holds the golden crystal, by being transcended, by being assumed into a different entity, a different deity. And this one, he holds up the purple crystal, by being simply cleansed through sacrifice. That spectacle, that light show in Erb Rubena after that fight in the temple there. It was not my first time hearing that story. Not in that way and not with all of its details, but something similar. I grew up with it.
And if I could ask, what were the Koboso doing with all of these?
We knew that there was a figure, I believe was referred to in the vision as the engineer, that lured Idvorath to a place in the frozen north, deep within the Washankos, somehow tricked it out of its form, tricked it out of its power, but that this figure sacrificed himself in order to do so, assumed this evil into his own body, and in so doing cleansed it. But that this effort was incomplete, left a few pieces behind. Pieces that, left alone in the north, so far from any intelligent life, were powerless, but could become dangerous if they were to fall into the hands of those who sought their power, or indeed into any thinking creature that was unsavvy enough. There were 2 groups that contested the right to hide these pieces, these uncleansed pieces away, to safeguard them, to hide them from the world that they would never be abused. One of those groups was the Komoso. The Komoso carried the legend of a mortal who became a god, but who became a tyrant in the process, and had dedicated themselves to ensuring that this would never again happen. Never again would the power of the divine be held by mortals. And this was their calling. As I understand it, that there were originally 6 of these uncleansed pieces. At one time, most of them were held in the secret vaults of the Komoso, but over the ages, the Komoso failed in their duties. They were lost, taken by others, sometimes abused. As far as I know now, they do not hold any of them.
Only 6 pieces?
6.
That is correct, though. I suppose if the other ones are intact, that now there are 7.
Does that include the cleansed golden one and the purple one, or are they not included?
No. These cleansed ones, they are inert. They do not hold any of the consciousness, anything but the vaguest shadow of an impression of the power that was once in them. But as for a force that could mean something like godhood, or could mean something, the palest reflection of this, of Idvoros's powers, no, they do not have any potential like that. I mean, 6 uncleansed shards.
Why were these shards not cleansed like the others? Or like the golden one?
The golden one, as I understand, was cleansed by deification, by the birth of a god. And the slight purple one, well, if you knew how to recreate the process that cleansed it, I believe that there would be no call for organizations such as Ikomoso, or for those trying to exert their will over the power of the uncleansed shards. We do not know exactly how it was done, but something that required a great deal of power, a great deal of sacrifice. And whatever ritual process cleansed it was not complete, was almost complete. But there were a few shards that escaped its notice. And in here, he pats the bag, is half of one. I know that appeared terrible, but we are blessed that this is only half. For if it had been the full shard, it could have been far more dangerous.
I understand that danger quite well. And I also understand quite well, and perhaps you even know more than I. Or that, well, sometimes we have to do things that sound insane on paper for the greater good.
And the when it came to the people who stole the other stones, I think one of them might have been Chengak.
Well, or he somehow found one that had been stolen a long time ago.
Possibly. Like, can Don think back? Like, is the one that he saw Chengak like hold up like same exact color, same exact purple that Chengak had, or like that Fox had?
I mean, it's hard to say, it was a brief moment in the
Yeah.
dim light of that chromium process, but it certainly seems like it was similar.
Okay.
That's quite something.
Do you know? So, how many times? What? How many stones exactly have been stolen? The other 3?
Oh, he said all of them, didn't he?
All of them, but you have
It's,
3 of
it's,
them.
as
So,
far as I know now, the Komuso do not have any.
but then who has the ones that you don't got? You
I.
don't know.
Many of them, I cannot be certain. Some I have an idea, but even if my guesses are right, I am in no place to do anything about that.
So 5.5 are out there somewhere.
One of them is owned by a maniac with a grudge. Fantastic.
I. The other half of this one, I was there when it was broken. The other half is held by the man who sent me into the West. Man who I once regarded as my master.
Who's that?
I assume he is also nameless.
His gaze turns and almost digs into Logie, and he says, I believe the last name he went by was Gareth Ueno.
What? Him? Ah, you're kidding, right?
Huh.
Huh.
But wait, no. You can just kind of see the curds turning in Okana's head as her hands kind of move around like. Okana.exe has encountered an error and needs to restart.
So Gareth, you fought over the crystal? What was the argument?
It was not a fight, it was done deliberately to establish a link. Ueno has his own master, someone I've never encountered. And I was not his only apprentice. You can say he hates even saying that word written on his face, but he continues. But he believed I was the best placed.
Was he also one of the Komiso, or was this a different mastership?
He was not a Komuso. He was the one who lured me away from the Komuso, who for a time was able to play on the absolute worst and darkest impulses in me. I had been taught, had this idea. I had learned this part of the lore, the legends of my order, that this stone, this very one that we were safeguarding, that to wield it, to hold it, is to lose yourself, is to become completely enthralled to its power, to become a puppet. But it is far worse than that. When you hold it, it is as if every worst thought you had, every second guess, when that bit of you would reach a hand forward to save your companions, when that bit of you would act to protect those who are in danger, it is that small voice, that split second that says to leave them, to leave others to their own fate, to push your companions closer to the ledge, knowing that you will take that bit of their share that they will no longer be there to collect. It is the id made rampant and vile.
Something that's the very worst at worst, something that cares not for anything else, but thinks of only itself, a sheer pure malevolence unlike anything else.
Yes, but the worst part is it is even still feels impossible to know if it is something else, some other presence, other consciousness, or if it is truly your own actions driving you forward. But I managed to break out of it. I managed to break free of it. I managed to act independently and seal it again. That means that there is hope. That means that there is a way to affect it, turn it on its head before Ueno or his master is able to make their move, is able to manipulate it, is able to fully awaken its power.
Well, I can tell you at least where Ueno last was. underneath our dome, and he was a Sir Doman Damned Herald.
Guildmaster of the Surgeons General. Surgeons Guild. Yep. Was he not that when you were with him?
He only ever showed a human face to me, but I had my suspicions, including what he told me about you and Alcana. And he turns to Alcana, chosen of Omethesis, and to Dawn, child of Trancam.
Well, and you can kind of just see this odd look of relief that washes over Alcana's face as well, the burden that she had been holding on to just kind of lifts.
How does this guy know about us?
I'm pretty who knows at this point anymore?
Perhaps through himself, perhaps through his master, perhaps through his other apprentices.
And so, you knew?
I knew that, but now that I have traveled with you, I can see that there is something else in play, some wider force, something that has corralled you together. All of you being together like this, in Forintry, traveling into the north, it is not coincidence, it is not chance.
That's what I've been thinking all this time, but I could never really put a name to it. Do you know?
Cauldron, we believed he was part of it, but perhaps it is a smaller part than I realized. But Ueno had others watching in the west, infiltrating for years, keeping track, looking for those who he believed through prophecy or through intuition, I am not sure what, were involved, he thought would become important. When I started traveling with you, I did not know about Nautrix and Icadia. I did not know about Logi, and I still do not know about Nia, but I have guarded my suspicions that something has happened between the time that I left you at the bridge and the time that I rejoined with you. I suppose it is when I was able to track Logi to the swamps that it all started to come together for me.
This is quite a lot you've been holding on to.
What do you mean, me and Acadia?
All right. There are two other apprentices. Never met them personally, but my former master passed along what they had discovered to me before I started my own mission in the West while I was still under its influence. One of them was placed among the Sirens, part of a secret organization in the East called the Yingwu Luo. The other one was here in the West, part of a circle of mystics, cultists, practitioners and hobbyists in arcane lore, called themselves esotericists, based in Varrock, but they extended all the way out to the edge of Asgarnia. Suetonius looks at Logi, was part of this organization, as well as one Malignius Mortifer. Here's the story. Years ago, decades, a siren named Lee. She has been working undercover for Rentaro Nijo on the island of Haranu, though she is truly a secret member of the Yingwulo. She assists in the rediscovery of static engines, ancient technology that was thought lost, manages to figure out how to recreate them. Shortly after, she quits the Yingwulo. But her final act, before she quits the Yingwulo and vanishes completely, is to approve a special permit of learning for one of their new youngest members, a siren who wishes to access the ancient forbidden knowledge of the Deep Ones, a training that they have not administered to anyone in years. The name of this young siren, this adolescent, Kavi.
Kavi?
We know him.
Oh my god!
Later, part of this circle of esotericists in the West, a man named Suetonius, he receives a shipment of purple crystal, a curiosity, an antiquity that had been uncovered in a mine on Ashdale, a mine that was owned by one Adrian Vold. Years after that, one Beatrix Medark, lying on her deathbed, receives a letter from her old flame, Malignius Mortifer. I do not know this next for certain, but I believe she never realizes that the letter is a forgery, not written by Malignius, but instead by his associate among the esotericists, Suetonius. As far as I know, Mortifer, with his informants, Ueno, with his informants, was targeting Mortifer and Lee, believed that they were the most important, that they would act as a roadblock to him, but it appears that his focus was in the wrong place.
Well, what then?
I believe that either Ueno or his master is also seeking Solamanta. That is where you have been headed this whole time, is it not?
Yes.
Though we barely know what it is, or where it is.
I believe he is seeking the Soul Stone there. And I'm partially working out on theories, things that were mentioned to me but never explained, and some things that I have discovered in traveling with you. But there is one essential aspect of the pentarchy. That is their duality. And each of them, they represent one thing and its obverse. One represents both life and death. One represents both entropy and inertia. One represents both anarchic chaos and unity. I believe that under the sway of Invorath, they wish to open the floodgates to power, to the pentarchy, or to this pentarch, this mental, this formless pentarch, as it was in ages past. And in so doing, unite all minds. We saw chaos, unbridled, unfocused rage when this, and he pats the bag, was exposed. That is manageable. And out of its proximity, I believe that unfocused rage will eventually fade. It is when these shards are whole, when they have a flicker of consciousness behind them, that they are dangerous. Because then you do not see chaos, you see a quiet, focused unity of of malevolent purpose.
I think I understand.
Yes,
It's like
Matches
a-
me
what you know.
too. Indeed.
I believe with the full access of what once empowered the Pentarchy, could use whatever fragment of consciousness Avid Varati has, and I believe it extends far beyond this one shard, to exert a force that could extend across Forin 3, perhaps extend over the world. If this thing has the range that they suggested in, well, millions died at the end of the God Wars. If their deaths somehow empowered this soul stone, and it has gone untapped since then, its power now must be unimaginable.
Yes.
And that power could be used to extend the range, you say, of this mind effect.
I believe so. I have seen something similar done once before.
What do you mean by that?
That's something else Gareth did.
Done on Alcana, what you and Shai refer to as not.
Hmm. Yes,
Right.
I'm familiar with this. More on, well, quite an intimate level, although I not necessarily heard that specific part.
But there is something here, something nearby, that I believe that Ueno wants. Something he will be unable to tap into the Soul Stone without. If we can take that from him, rob him of the opportunity, perhaps we can foil him, then meet him at the pass, stop him before he is able to access the Soul Stone, before he is able to reach Solamanta. And well, I believe that we will need those who have shared in a small fraction of the Pentarchy's power for that.
Hmm. Well, I guess I don't need to hide this anymore then, do I? And now kind of goes ahead and removes the eye patch.
I suppose I did not realize it would have physical effects.
Hmm. I'm still learning this as I go along, too. This is honestly more direction here than in the past, well, almost a year or so. Time is weird.
You've been touched by this, Elkanah, but Dawn, Logi, Notrix, I believe all of you have been touched by this somehow as well.
Oh, I absolutely have. You know I don't need to sleep anymore, right? That's actually not a fairy thing. Sorry, I lied. That's more a me thing after I was touched by Kranken.
A child of Truncum.
Yeah.
And this is through Kavi.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
may also have a tie to the Deep Ones.
I've seen dreams of like sirens kind of experimenting on sea creatures like that. Is that what you mean by the deep ones?
No, the Deep Ones, far older than that. Sirens experimented upon.
Oh.
I am asking, elaborate. What do you mean by sirens experimented upon?
Well, I've been having a few dreams. One of them specifically was I was one of these creatures, and w- when I was watching these sirens, they dropped something in the water, like something black, and it caused these octopus to just go insane. It looked like it was writhing in pain. It was ugh,
This sounds to me like the work of Ueno.
awesome.
I've had a number of strange dreams myself, though I don't exactly know how relevant they all are. Though at this point, anything can really help us on the table.
Real fast, out of character. Do we know what race Ueno is?
I mean, he looks like a human, but he had wound up being a not herald in the end, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Don pipes up and says, in my dream, I'm pretty sure I saw a human in the distance, but I also saw an Avianzi there. I don't know if that sounds familiar to you.
An Avianzi?
Yeah. Or, someone with feathers.
It's very strange. I do not know what that means. But look, I am sorry for concealing my ulterior motives. Part of that was the shame of it. Part of that was because I knew I would need your help to access this place and to stand against Ueno or whatever force he has when we must. I believe that what is here, at this temple here in the snow, that it will be vital to our efforts, whether that is to merely head him off or to, if necessary, rob his action of any power.
Okana nods.
So you're saying you need our specific help to obtain whatever this is.
To obtain it, yes. Part of that perhaps a bit mechanically. This temple, it was once a place of esoteropaths. Esoteropaths like you, Alcana. And I am not certain if any of us would also qualify as that, having been touched by aspects of the pentarchy. Perhaps we would, perhaps we would not. But that it is only an esoteropath who can turn certain keys. Though fortunately, I believe we already have the keys on hand. He
Okana just
reaches into the bag and he pulls out one of those. You saw a few like different sized metallic cylinders fall out of his bag before. Pulls out one of them, and then he opens up the cylinder, pulls out a dagger, that looks an awful lot like Nia's, not the dragon dagger, the other one, except this one, that line of stone down its silver blade, looks a lot more like mother of pearl.
another one.
The last time we saw, well, that's what that crazed man was wielding back in Miracle Grove.
Yeah. Here, Nia takes out her dagger and like compares it.
Yeah, you can see they look practically similar, practically identical, except for that line of stony material down the center.
So these are the keys?
I believe so. I've never seen this place in person myself, but believe that what we are looking for, something that is vital to tap into the energies of the Soul Stone, will be there.
If this is
Well,
a vital key in tapping into the Soul Stone, and, well, you need a group of esoteripaths with these keys to unlock it, then wouldn't it not be better to leave it where it is and deny Gareth any access to it? If we were carrying it, he could take it from us.
I believe there is a significant chance that he commands certain powers that are beyond me. Many of them I have not seen yet. Many of them I do not understand. And I do not know if he or the one he serves would be able to circumvent any such locks. I do not believe these locks were set by the gods. I do not believe that they have the grandiosity of divine power. That they are strong, yes, strong for us, but that something sufficiently powerful could simply break the locks.
So you're saying that eventually Ueno would be able to get here after we leave, if we left.
It would not surprise me. I think it would be better placed in our hands. Wielded by one of you.
Huh.
Where
But
did-
I think
where-
I agree.
Where did you acquire these keys then? You're sure they're legitimate?
This one I acquired from the same place where Nia acquired hers.
You got it from a strange old man? Screaming about it?
I returned to Miracle Grove after leaving you at the bridge.
And?
He had another dagger on him.
Did you get anything else out of him when you, well, there? You know where he got his.
From the place that we are going to now. The place that is about a mile's trudge away.
Do you have any idea how these keys are supposed to work?
I am not certain, but I am hoping that it is evident when we approach.
Yes, well, I think a key shaped like a dagger when you're entering a temple is a bit disconcerting. I hope we won't have to do anything drastic.
me too. Well, maybe I shouldn't be the one talking about that.
Forintri is a place that has been dead so long. If there is anything living there, it is not. I doubt it will be anything that has not already died once before.
Oh, great. And
Well,
how many of these do you have? Do we have all these keys, or are you hoping that the remainder will be still within the structure itself?
We have two. Perhaps we only need one. I am hoping that we do not need more than this.
If you're
Well-
certain that this is where he got it from, then, well, you're probably right. We're probably gonna find the other one in there. Or more.
Looking at these two side by side, they are unique. It is possible that a selection of them are needed, considering
indeed. And I think I
Considering
might
that
have a
this
guess as
temple-
to what they might look like from other things that we know.
well, considering this is a temple to the Pentarchy in some way, judging by the symbols on the dagger. Perhaps it would be 6 daggers that are necessary.
And then something just kind of occurs to Elkanah. And she goes ahead and summons the Eldritch Truth. It's nice old bright flash of rainbow.
All right, you have the Eldritch Truth.
And then she goes ahead and, following an odd pattern of the refraction of the light around the hilt, traces a rather familiar symbol, an ohm.
Traces a familiar symbol. We got a lot of familiar symbols here.
You know, the omega, the ohm. Do I have to explain this?
Okay, all right.
I
Be more
can get the
specific.
art if you want.
I didn't hear you say the ohm. Just I thought you said a familiar symbol. I thought you said because we've got a lot of familiar symbols. But yes, you trace
Do
out.
I need to go get my art for that again?
You
Ron
trace out
isn't
the
a mind
ohm.
reader.
Go on, Ron. Sorry.
The omega sign, and he looks at that. I am not certain if we will need a separate dagger for Omethesis. I am hoping not. Hoping this is not in vain.
Well, just in case, it's something that occurred to me. And then she shrugs and it disappears in rainbow again.
So I should suppose we should rest up before heading off to the temple tomorrow.
Indeed.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Yes, we are all very much injured.
And he kind of looks around, gives a nod, and sort of turns around to his own side of the of the tiny hut, maybe keeping a slightly more distance between himself and the rest than he has the other few nights. But is there anything else that happens before you guys bed down for the evening?
Just one quick little thing. I'm thinking that Elkanah would sort of like eye how Fox has kind of been at a bit of a distance. She would carefully tap on his shoulder, and then, this time using her telepathy, says, "Thank you."
Do you hear him reply in your mind? I do not feel like I deserve your thanks. I know I don't deserve your thanks, but I appreciate it. I am glad that you can accept this part of me and not cast me out of
I
the
would
group for
say-
now.
I was thinking the same for you with, well, you already knew my secret the whole time, so I guess that I was kind of right and my most paranoid suspicious there too, so, well, it's nice having that out in the open.
It kind of gives you a smile, not feeling like he needs to say really anything more.
And I think that maybe she would even give him a bit of a hug, if he'll accept it, before then going off to sleep.
Yeah. He kind of smiles before he turns around to sleep himself, but there's definitely a melancholy behind this smile.
Notrix may have a few more personal questions to ask folks. He walks over and just. Do you mind being interrupted another time?
Certainly, of course. I owe you that much and more.
I just have two quick questions. Where did you get the bag that you're using to, well, hold everything?
I acquired it in the East. I do not know precisely where it came from, but it was right before I rather ignominiously left the Komuso. They would collect various other esoterica, things that were deemed dangerous, things with particularly with extraplanar origins. This was one of them, but it would be very useful for what I was doing. I was essentially stealing from them and forfeiting any future I would ever have in the order.
I see. So they confiscated it from someone else. And I suppose that's the same time you stole. Well, did you steal the golden crystal and the purple crystal from their clutches as well?
I stole the golden crystal. The other crystal, we called it the eldest shard. I had actually taken just before then, but not from the Komoso. I was part of a mission to recover it, to steal it back from those who had taken it from us, among them Ueno. And as the one to obtain it, I fell sway to its influence.
I thought you said the purple ones were less capable of influencing people. The cleansed one.
Oh no, not that purple one.
Oh, the
I
other
mean the
purple.
dark purple one. The one it is almost black when you first look at it before you see the tinges of purple.
I meant the light purple one. At least I think I did. I might be getting mixed up. Sorry.
The light purple one. He kind of gets this uncomfortable expression. Logie was in a bad state when I found him. Was driven half to madness, muttering to himself. He had certain things on him that I thought could hurt him. Among them, this shard. I recognized what it was. So I decided to hold on to it.
Well, perhaps that is something you should discuss with Logie himself then. Whether he wants any of those back, or if it is even safe for him to be carrying around any of those in the first place. I'll leave that up to you two. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. The second, more personal question I had was more about Melignius. You say the letter he sent my mother it was a forgery, not from him.
That is correct. At least that is what I understand from Ueno's informant placed among the circle of esotericists.
What did Suetonius? What did Suetonius have to gain from sending such a letter?
I do not know. There's much I don't know. After obtaining that book, Logie has it now. It seems that Cauldron or maybe Vold was the real key in this, but even then, I cannot put together what it is. Just that something, some force, or someone had a part in pushing all of you together.
See, I think we had thought that, Cauldron and Vold were being influenced by similar forces to Gareth, but perhaps they are different forces.
So this Wilkins Cauldron, this Siren Lee, this Suetonius, I do not know what the connecting thread is, what binds them all together, or how many more degrees of separation there are, but after traveling with you, seeing what connects all of you, it is more than coincidence.
Yes. I had noticed that, well, each of us somehow has a connection to the Pentarchy or similar forces. Some gained from along our journey, and some gained from before. It did seem like quite the coincidence. Well, hopefully the the prophesized voice behind the cauldron is less malevolent than, well, other things. Did you understand anything else from the book? From what I know, it's an alternate history of some kind. I haven't read it myself.
It's a lot of really tired adventure novel tropes. I'm not certain what more there is to be read in there, or at least if there is, it's something I am too far removed from. This is all information I received second, third hand. I was deeply surprised the more I traveled with you, and the more I realized the connections to these things that, as far as I know, Ueno had already been watching. If there's more in there, I suspect that you would read it, pick up on it better than I would.
Well, we'll see what Logie comes up with, and, well, if need be, I don't know if we'll have time each to read it individually, and if that will result in different insights, but, well, I'll keep our minds open. Oh, I guess I do have many more questions to ask, but I think enough is enough for one day. Just wanted those specific to be answered now. I'll leave you to your rest.
He gives you a nod and once again turns over. So, anything else this evening?
Well, since we were talking about the book, maybe I should read a little bit more to get some of that strange alternate history stuff.
Ooh, strange history. Very cool. All right. Let us see. Where were we in the book? My notes are far too long.
Ended with 6 different enclaves of groups of humans growing at the edges of Davratus' empire.
Oh, right. Okay. I will tell you what happens in just 1 second. You know, it would be so easy for me to just make something up, but I actually wrote a little bit of stuff for this, and I want to make sure I get it right, which is always what trips me up when I'm DMing. But anyways,
Yeah, you just have the book next to you.
You're
It's
good.
on
Look at that.
chapter 22.
yeah, I wrote the entire novel. No, just a couple of brief things, but as you turn to the book, you read about these different enclaves of people with these psionic powers beginning to emerge in the midst of discontent over the sort of prosperous but repressive empire of Devaratus. It follows the book becomes a bit more focused, a bit more character driven at this point. And you see it follows someone named Volt. Volt, who soon gains the name the Prophet. Uh, he's sort of there have been those in his community who've had occasionally prophetic dreams, who've had these odd phenomena, but he's the first one to awaken with something actually like powers of their own, something with this magical quality to it. And most importantly, what sets him apart is that this repression, this sort of thought control, this restriction on free thought, this desire for conformity in the empire, he's able to not only shake it off, but to do so undetected, able to disguise the contents of his own mind. And this becomes his sort of his greatest strength. And this figure, uh, there is this incident of him still as a teenager where he has these visions of this place, of this place of significance. And as he makes this journey on his own, leaves his community in the dead of night, he comes across this battle, but this strange battle between combatants that are mostly invisible, seem to only flash into existence or be only discernible by the way they displace the dust on this wide plain that builds up around them, that eventually clings to them. This huge dragon that is fighting against all of these smaller figures. Now, he only puts together that it's a dragon 3/4 of the way through the fight. And there are these skeletons and zombies, undead figures that at one point rise from the ground during the battle that he watches from the shadows and try to bring down this invisible dragon. And then there's this wave of psychic energy that seems to end it definitively. As he looks around, all of these invisible combatants, no sign of them, no sounds, no motion. All of the corpses lie dead on the ground. And as he goes to examine, it's when he finds that there is another person, looking maybe only a year or two younger than him, who has similarly been watching this battle in secret. This young woman who's named Hirana, who eventually earns the title the Inheritor. Someone who came from across the ocean, but similarly is the first in her community to awaken to this odd psionic power. And as they meet, they have sort of almost this melding of minds, both figurative and literal, sort of finding this odd kindred spirit unexpected in each other, and determining that they need to find others like them who have their unique abilities. And that is about to where you get in the book this time.
I have a pretty crazy theory right now, but I'm not going to say it because people will think I'm mad.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, though I've probably thought crazier.
So, you guys, you all sleep, and those of you who do sleep. Morning comes, you pack up all of your, anything that you needed. Oh yeah, I need everyone to, roll your hit dice. There's no incident in the night. And also, need you to roll your travel dice.
Go fun. First one's for Nia, second one for Don.
So,
Oh dang, very nice.
what happens when you run out of hit dice?
When you run out of hit dice, that means that you're out a hit dice, and then you get your hit dice on the next day. But you can roll the next day's hit dice if you wish.
I
just, you know, you
so
won't
we-
have them in the evening.
So we get to roll hit dice when we wake up as well as when we go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Just not sure how our rules work.
But you know, you only get hit dice back after a long rest.
I can then
But
immediately.
you can roll them after any rest.
Okay.
Man, rolling hit dice just makes me realize how terrible I am at adding up numbers in my head.
Not arithmetic.
You're in the wrong game if you don't like arithmetic.
I guess on roll 20 you can sidestep most of it.
Math? The video game? Is that what we're playing?
I have one confusing question out of character, I guess.
Yes.
Didn't you say that this square you drew over here around the ziggurat? Didn't you say that square was where we thought that guy had found the dagger?
No.
What was that square for then?
For the ziggurat.
But this-
Oh, because you earlier you found another empty temple of Karheim that roughly indicated something in that direction, and then later you found out the exact location of the ziggurat.
Ah,
Oh.
understandable. Have a good day.
I thought I remembered sometime around when we found the crazy man, that square was drawn because Neo was trying to discern where he came from.
Oh, no, that square was drawn when you found that ruined temple in the mountains.
All right. So, I know we asked I forget her name now, the Hapfernic in Oberbrenner. We asked her if there were pillars there because the guy was much about pillars. I'm guessing multiple of us were confused about that point.
Well, you guys specifically asked if there were pillars, and she said,
We did.
"Yeah, there are pillars." And you went and you saw there are a couple of pillars.
We did, but well, I can't remember. I probably asked that question. I was one who was confused, I guess. The crazy guy was much about pillars. That's not where he was. Okay, never mind. Let's move on. That's just me. That's just my brain.
Okay, last question.
All right.
When we were at the north, we were right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. That's all.
Wait, didn't
Yeah,
you
that
say
little dark spot is meant to indicate the perch.
Yeah.
last session? Didn't you say that sometime this session we could attempt to retroactively roll insight on the north as all the chaos was happening?
Oh yeah.
We didn't get to
Sure,
see-
you can retroactively roll insight then.
Well, because we saw what all the other dragons were doing, but she wasn't described.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure.
Yeah, just a lot going on in that room.
Didn't know if anyone else wants to do that.
You know what? Don will.
Why not?
It's on.
So
his
did
mind.
everyone roll their travel dice and their hit dice?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to roll my travel dice.
Ah, okay.
Ooh, that is a nice insight roll.
Kana does.
Yeah, Alcana, in the midst of all of that chaos, you looked back towards the north, and the north herself was not really taking any action, but almost seemed to be closing her eyes, holding her head down, looked as if she was concentrating very hard. And I think it's difficult to say any more than that.
Okay, then.
Interesting.
That was with a 19. Damn.
So, as morning comes, you find the tiny hut dissipates. You take these new sort of rough fur cloaks that you received in the Weathermaker's Perch, wrap them around you. Fox this time takes the lead. It's not too far a hike up to the remains of this temple, but you can feel it is a very, very chilly morning, and it is still very dark out. So you begin walking single file, following this concourse up the slopes. You feel this catabastic winds just sweeping down from the heights of these mountains, battering you, even with these coats wrapped around you. I need everyone to make Constitution saving throw, except Don.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Constitution save it isn't terrible.
And we have +2 because of Volcana's aura.
Oh yeah. All right. So Logi and Nia, you take 1 point of cold damage.
Ow.
The weather's
It's
fine.
just like a single sliver of hail that just sort of pokes
Gets in our eye.
you. You're like, oh no.
Yeah,
So
just a
annoying.
little bit nippy, a little bit numb on the edge of your nose. And as you continue walking for about an hour, eventually you come into sight of it. The first thing you see are these pools, these among the snowdrifts and rocks, these large kind of discs of ice that have these billowing geometric patterns caught in them, some kind of sediment or maybe the water itself, in these bright colors. And you see beyond them, there is this row of, it looks less like a structure and more like these just regular rounded ridges in the snow. Maybe it's even just that the snow is covering up the actual facade itself. It's sort of built into the side of the mountain, you'd have to guess, just from the way that these domes are situated. And you see that there is a wider flat area. You're not sure if it actually is a courtyard or just a step in the mountain, where you can see that there are these two heavily worn statues of some kind of beast on either side of what looks like, you're not sure if it's a little rock slide or what. And there amidst the snow, what looks like a broken cart or something, and some kind of a dead animal resting in the snow right nearby it.
Well then.
Well, someone was here before, at least. Perhaps
Clear.
that
We-
was the mount of the. Oh, I keep calling him the crazy person, but I guess that's the best name we know him by.
Oh, maybe. Huh.
I mean, that makes the most sense from what we know.
Yes. Perhaps we should go up and investigate it, so we can tell,
Perhaps we should.
rather than standing here.
Don flies up. And so does
So,
yeah. Yep.
yeah, you walk up to that smashed cart sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fair to
So
look at.
you look up, you can immediately see it is some kind of a sleigh, smaller than the one that you guys left behind, but completely smashed. Just, it looks unsalvageable. And lying next to it, with what looks like his whole side tore out, but frozen in the snow, is a reindeer, though it has a little bit of some kind of livery, even tattered and bloodstained as it is, partially wrapped around it. Any of you who wants to can roll an insight or a history check on this.
Can Nia?
Or perception. Yeah, Nia can. Well, Notrix, you definitely rolled high enough. You realize that you saw not a very widely used, but a similar symbol back in the Anapodostrophe Hieros. This is a piece of Templar livery that was wrapping this reindeer.
I communicate that with the group.
Huh. Interesting. It's probably not that guy then.
Sweeping over the edge of the mountain, outside of your peripheral vision from where you could see, suddenly this large copper dragon, boom, slams into the ground before you. You see Gongqua hop off with two more of the smaller squat Avianzi sitting on the dragon behind him. This dragon is not the one who flew you here. This is another one, and you see it's one of those ones with a single shining eye. And Gongqua looks over all of you, and he says,
Oh, friends, I have found you. Everything is fine back in the Weathermaker's Perch. The incident passed without any lasting damage. But we'll still need to hear you testify. So I am going to need to insist that you all board the dragon.
I'm going to insight check this motherfucker because that sounds suspicious as hell.
It is a little weird. Yeah, hold on.
Sure. Insight him. Yeah. Nia and Alkana, you look towards him. There is something wrong with Gongqua. Very wrong. His eyes are unfocused. They're not even looking at you. There's something stiff about him. And this dragon, you can almost see this just vacant expression in its face. It is very wrong here.
Something's not right. Alcana would probably telepathically say to everybody, something's not right with them. Don't go with them.
You need to get on this dragon right now. Please, no delay. We are on a tight schedule. We must get back before it gets too cold.
Yes, just a minute.
I am going to need to insist right now.
Ganqua, are you alright?
Oh, I am fine. I'm glad that little distraction is over with, but I'm going to need to insist right now.
Folks, can you use the gold crystal again?
Fox, he sort of looks towards you. He reaches into his bag, and as he does, the dragon suddenly pushes Gongqua aside, rears up, and as it is about to breathe all over you, let's go ahead and take a break.
Ah!
And so as he leaps up, then he just gets into this dive, and you see he puts his javelin out right in front of him, and he's gonna try to hit Fox in a dive. Oh yeah, that hits. Aiden, because he was diving, it does an extra 11 damage. So you see he just pow, and he just Fox tries to move to the side, but it spears him a little bit. And you see a bit of his gambeson torn, a little bit of blood on the spear as this Avianzi just wears back up again. Fox is going to try to take an attack of opportunity. And he does manage to hit. You see Fox as he swings his sword wildly at Gongqua, who takes the hit but still gets up about 30 more feet into the sky. And with that, it is Fox's turn. He He looks towards you and he says, I am not sure that this will do anything. This works for prevention, not so much for curing. I carried this around this for months before I was able to shake it off, but I will try. And he looks up at
That's all
Gonqua,
we really can do.
looks up at Gonqua, not able to reach him, and he makes this sort of mad dash over to one of these ambushers, pulls out this golden shard, presses it to him, and the ambusher just pulls back, tries to bat his hand away. This squat Avianzi, it's not having any effect. Now the Eye of the North. He gets right up over here. How? Yeah, I think that's where he's going to do it. And as he looks down, this dragon with its shining eye, once more its lungs inflate, and it just this jet, almost like electricity made out of fire, tears up the ground. You see the ice melting, and I need everyone.
His initiative.
What's that?
I think Alcana was on.
I forgot about that. Yes, Alcana, go ahead.
So, guessing that we just fight then? Alright then.
Moving back there because he didn't move yet.
Help me, both of you. I'm thinking that, yeah, she would probably like stay near Fox, and I think she's going to go ahead and invoke Channel Divinity's sacred weapon, just kind of holding out the Eldritch Truth and letting that divine light flash up around the blade.
Oh yeah, you take out the truth, and it is beautiful. It has like this rainbow light flashing all around it. And is that an action or a bonus action?
That's an action.
Oh, okay. So is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Yeah. So this dragon kind of rears back, changes what it's going to do, flies up, and actually perches itself on this little ridge right above the entrance to this place, and it's actually it's going to move itself over just a little, and it's going to hit one of the ambushers, but it doesn't really care. I need Nia and Alcana and Fox to all make dexterity saving throws.
Shit, don't forget the +2.
That only applies to Fox and yourself.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Fair.
yeah.
Well, that's a good dex save anyway, at least for Alcana.
It's not a good one for Fox. So, as it rears back, this lightning-like just ray of fire sweeps over all of you. You see that the first of these Avianzi that was caught in the line of fire is just, boom, incinerated. It seemed to not even care that it was in the way. Alcana, as it hits you, you take 27 points of fire damage, managing to flatten yourself, but still taking a lot of damage. Nia, you take the same amount. Fox, however, as this lightning-like pulse of fire fades away, you look and you see him close charred, unconscious on the ground.
Fox! No!
God damn. Oh my god.
And with that, it is the remaining ambusher kind of looking around. It is it reaches for Fox Bags, this short Avianzi, looking around for it, but seems to, in its frustration, is not managing to find the right place among Fox things as he lies there on the ground. All right, Don and Logie.
All right. I think Don would, unless Loki has some kind of a plan for us to collab.
No, I have pretty simplistic ideas.
Okay. I think Don is gonna he's gonna see the dragon over there after seeing what he just did to Fox, and he's gonna place himself about right here, and you know what? Lightning boy, we need to get him out of here.
All right. Okay, dexterity save, and he does have advantage. So let's see.
He does. Oh, it's
Yeah, it's a unique thing for this dragon. So it you call this light and you see the sky suddenly darkening above you. Well, it's already dark, but see it becoming heavier, more textured. Cracks of lightning, roll thunder, and then pooh, one of them comes down to the ground. It manages to sort of leave its bulk to the side, but it still takes half of that damage. So yeah, it still takes a bit. You can see its belly sort of charred.
this is
But
gonna be hard.
keep doing that, and you can aim it at other things than the dragon. If you feel like that's not being effective.
Okay. Also, before he hears that advice, he's gonna throw a blood bolt at the dragon.
All right. I think you might need to get a little. Yeah, you need to get a little closer in order to do that. But you use your blood bolt as part of your cunning action. So you dash and you blood bolt, and that manages to hit as you create this bolt of just floating black blood. It whizzes through the air and pow, finds a little chink between its heavily armored scales, and it gives out this low grunt.
Okay.
Logi.
Okay, I'm going to use my Shadow Refuge. Move away, cast Blink, as I didn't call the armor, I'll say I'm using the other action to summon my packed weapon. Sort of making up for that, I suppose. And then I suppose I still have my movement unless the refuge cancels that. I'm not actually sure.
Oh no, you still got movement.
Move over here, and since I cast Blink,
Move over there and what?
I rolled to see if Blink activated, and it didn't.
Oh, and it did not. Ah, such a shame. All right. We're back to the top of the order. Nia and Nautrix, you've got a dragon perched up here on this ridge. You've got Gonqua floating 30 feet in the air. And you've got this other Avianzi rummaging through Fox stuff.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Arcana.
Well, Fox is unconscious, for the record.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll be dealing with that rather than the Avians. Okay, well, I'll start with Nocturne's turn, because his turn is going to be pretty simple. He is just going to do his standard thing of Symbol against the Shillelagh. So I won't even press the buttons for that, because he does it so much. And let's see. Nia. Let's see, he's in the air, Falcon's on the ground, Dragon's over there. What's the range on Psychic Strikes? 30 or 60, I do it again, depending. Okay, so Nia is going to run up to this scavenging Aviancy, and she is going to hit him with her Dragon Dagger.
Okay.
They just come up behind him, just try and shove him off forks and then stab him.
All right, that's
30.
one attack.
Okay.
30, which of course.
I guess I'll just keep hitting him. So it's just I'm not going to pretend to know how this works. I'll just hit it.
All right. And actually, after that second one, that's enough. Nia runs over and then too quick, bam, bam, shivving him, and he falls back off of Fox onto the ground, bleeding out, still alive but unconscious. Do you plant that third one in him too?
Well, my plan was, and I don't understand how this works. Can I use the psychic blade to throw that at the dragon?
You'd have to use a bonus action to do that.
Yeah. So your bonus action is either that third attack or it's using the psychic blade.
Sorry, I interrupted there.
So you can't use a psychic blade this time.
I won't do that. Sorry. And that's Nia will move over here and sort of hide behind the snowdrift a bit, but not really.
All right. With that, you see Gongqua still floating up in the air, looking kind of lost, oddly enough. But he once more flies over. Fox is a little bit far away from him now, but Nautrix is close by. So I think he's going to try to dive bomb you, Nautrix.
That's fine.
And as he does, he just makes this dive from up in the air, boom! Because he's doing this dive while he does it, that is up to 21 piercing damage before he flits up into the air again, another 20 feet, and you can take an attack of opportunity on him if you wish.
I will. Oops. Right, that was a 1.
Oh, all right. You just try to swing your staff around as he gets up from you after he's just pierced you through with his spear for 21 piercing, but you don't manage to hit him. And, all right, Alcana, what are you doing?
I'm going to give Fox 10 points of lay on hands for one.
Beautiful.
Fox, come back! Come back! Come back! Come back!
Feel the warmth under your hands as he blinks back to consciousness.
I guess there's no choice really but to fight right now, is there?
I think it's too late for them. Pulls himself to his feet. Looks at the Eye of the North up here on the ridge and the exalted Avianzi over here, 20 feet above Nautrix. Are you doing anything else with your turn, Alcana?
Let's see here. What can I cast with bonus action that I have prepared? I don't have anything in that department, so I guess that's her turn.
Yeah. He looks around, and I think what he's going to do, he's just going to place his one hand on his own chest, and he casts Cure Wounds on himself. And that's his whole turn. Oh, with that, it is the Eye of the North. You see this dragon kind of wave its wings again, looking with this discerning gaze over all of these insect-like mortals down here on this frozen ground. And it is going to fly up over here and boom, land once more on the icy ground. And as it rears up once more, Alcana and Fox once again need to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh no.
Yeah, roll a 6, which means it gets its breath back.
Right, damn it. That's awful.
Would you like some foresight? And
Yes, please.
did Fox roll high enough? I can't remember what the DC was
He
last time.
rolled high enough, but his hit points are low enough. It still brings him down to 0.
But at least he's not going to die instantly. Which is what I was waiting
Yeah.
for. Yeah, Connor, would you like to re-roll that at all? Do you have the foresight, or would
Yes,
you like to?
please.
Would you like me to?
I mean, if you're offering.
How much foresight do you need to re-roll that?
2.
Oh, so you don't have any. Okay.
Well, I do have 4, so I guess I could do that myself.
Are you sitting on it?
All right, so O'Connor, are you re-rolling that save?
I guess I am.
All right.
Frick, damn it! That's
Ah.
useless.
I'm sorry. You turn around and your vision is just overcome by this orange. You can feel the ice melting, pooling around your feet. As you stagger back, you take 55 points of fire damage.
Somehow she's not down, but she's close.
The ambusher has 1 failed death save. All right. Dawn and Logie.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. What? You can go first.
Okay, this is going to be quite shocking, so I'll need you guys to prepare yourself.
Oh boy.
I walk up here, right? I aim with the musket, right? And get this. I'm going to shoot twice at this Aviansi next to Notrix.
What?
Oh, he's in the air above me, but that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, that's anything.
How far above the ground is he?
20 feet. It doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
I'm not going to force you to triangulate this.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, okay. At least you have 2.
You fire twice. Both of them just go wide into the air. Gonqua does not even seem to notice. He still seems to be in this odd daze. Dawn.
Oh, hey, that's me. Okay, so, I have a question.
Yes.
So, when you cast a concentration spell, you can cast other spells as well, right?
Yeah, just not another concentration spell.
Right.
Right, shooting the
So-
lightning will use your action. So if you use a spell that uses an action, you won't do the lightning this turn, but you can do it in further turns.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, true. Wait. Using Call Lightning again doesn't cost a spell slot, right?
No.
No.
You get to keep throwing that for a minute or until you lose concentration.
God, that's awesome. Okay. You know what? Dawn is gonna fly right about here. Like maybe I would imagine like on a rock and yell up at Ganqua. You were a shit lawyer anyways! And I cast Call Lightning.
Wow.
All right, very nice. Let's do that dex save for him.
Yeah, and can I just say, while there's a sort of pause here, I'll just roll to see if I go to Cheryl.
Oh, yeah. So you call lightning once more. It seems to, with almost this preternatural deftness, move its wings aside so it doesn't get the full brunt, but it's still, from the supercharged air around him, you see a little bit of blackening.
Ugh. And I can't cast a what's it called? Healing word, right?
Yes, you could. Oh no, you could
As
cast.
a bonus?
Yeah. You haven't used the spell this turn.
Yeah, it's that case is a weird one.
Oh.
Sure, I'll say you can,
Okay. In that case, 10, 15.
and I'll go back to see what the rule makers have to say about it later.
I'm pretty sure
I
he can,
hate-
because he hasn't casted the spell. He's just utilizing the effects
Yeah.
of the spell already cast.
Yeah. All right, sure.
That's interesting. Here. Okay. Dawn Oh, he hates doing this, but he's gonna like fly up to here, try to hide from the dragon, and I think from here it's fine, right? This is 30 feet. No! Fuck it. He'll go right about. I'm gonna read this later. He's gonna go right here, and he's gonna cast Healing Word on Fox.
Okay.
Hopefully, he'll have some time to get out of the way. Boop. Fuck.
Right. 5, you see a little glow around Fox, and you hear this pain gasp as he intake of air.
Get out of the way!
If I get the chance, I will do that.
I think the most dangerous thing we need to focus on is that dragon.
I think I got
Mia
an
and
idea for it.
Notrix.
Okay. So Notrix is going to look up at the Birdman flying above him, and he doesn't want him to be flying anymore. He's going to cast Earthbind.
All right. And that is what sort of save?
Strength saving throw.
Strength save. Oh. Is it not registering? There it is.
There
Yeah, you
Right.
watch as he's kind of flitting around and then just boom slams into the ground right next to you.
And I don't believe I can really do anything with it on bonus action, so that's not good fun. Nia. Let's see. Oh, have I gone too far away? Oh no, she has stupid movement speed. So Nia is going to run up at the dragon again.
Yeah, who is on the ground now.
Okay. And Nia's just going to run up to the dragon. Is that next to the dragon? I can't really tell.
Let me double check. Yeah, that technically is next to the dragon, just barely.
Okay. I guess the piece is 3 by 3 token. Oh, whatever. And she is going to attack 3 times with a dragon dagger.
Oh, the shame, the indignity.
The disrespect. His own dagger.
Oof. And third one gets sneak attack apparently.
God, the DDS spec, man.
All 3 of those hit.
And on that third one, I'd like to attempt another stunning strike.
Okay, another con save for this dragon.
Yeah, it's probably not going to work. We'll see.
Yeah, try to stun it, but once more it just shakes it off. It just gives this low growl that starts somewhere deep within its scaly throat.
Okay, and let's see, how much movement does Nia have left? She has 5 feet of movement left, so she is going to go there.
Okay.
And I believe that is my turn.
All right. Yeah, see, Gonghua turn towards you. Again, you can read very easily that vacant expression in his eyes, but he is just going to take out his javelin and bam, bam, try to stab at you twice, Notrix.
Oh, second one hits.
Second one hits, pulls it back where it pierces somewhere just into your upper thigh. You can see a little bit of blood dripping off of it. He just holds it, sort of standing at the ready.
I need to do a con save to see if... Is it his concentration, isn't it? Yes, sadly it is.
Okay.
There will be a DC of 10, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, please. 2. Ignore the plastic.
And he is still grounded. With that, Fox finally pulls himself to his feet, and he looks towards you, Alcon, and he says, I'm going to try to circle around so that he can't get anyone else in its line of fire. I think I'm the one that it's concentrating on. And he
Okay then.
sort of...
And then
he dashes back over here, and he's just going to use another Cure Wounds on himself.
Arcana kind of glances between her sword, glances between the candlestick, sort of looks up, looks at her own constitution, and I'm thinking that in this case, she might also back off a bit and then get going with some Eldritch Blast.
Whoa.
Need to decide where she's moving to.
All right. Does not get its effect back. You see this dragon, just its neck pulsating in and out with these deep, not really labored breaths, but almost bellowing, angry breaths.
Did the axe hit the dragon?
What's that?
The axe
Oh,
hit
the Eldritch Blast. I'm sorry, I did not see that. The second one manages to hit the dragon.
This isn't cowardice, I'm just running low on juice.
And it's just, its head is briefly wreathed in this eldritch energy. But it seems like that is just about enough to capture its attention. And it up into the air before it dive bombs right on you, Alcana. First, going for you with its bite.
Shit! She's unconscious.
Unconscious. And as he gets you in his bite, he sort of grapples you, flies up about 10 feet into the air, 20 feet, and drops you down. Bam! As you slam into the hard ground, Alcana, you have one failed death save before it flits over here, about 30 feet up in the air.
Arcana! Oh, shit.
And the ambusher, another failed death save, is one save away from dying permanently. All right, Dawn and Logie.
Okay. This is going to be quite shocking.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry for like doing the unexpected here, but I'm going to shoot again twice. Just statistically, I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
That first one hits. Yeah, you line up your shotgun. Boom! When it just kind of grazes his feathers, you see a few go flying up and caught on the breeze, whiff past you. He sort of fixes one eye that focuses on you for only a second before it again seems to lose its focus.
And then poof into Shadow Realm finally.
Dawn.
Okay. Dawn looks at Nia and says, I'm gonna try to distract it, alright? Can you keep laying in damage on it?
I think you should go spend to Arcana. She took a
Well, I'm gonna!
massive bruising.
Here, I got this. Ready? Alright. Dawn wants to, here's a question. If I cast Fog Cloud, can I do Healing Word after that?
No.
Alright, I'm just gonna
Because
yell
those
out
are both
back
used
to-
spell slots. Also, casting Fog Cloud, you'll lose your lightning.
Just
Oh.
concentrate on healing up, and I'll
Okay,
try
I'm
and distract
just
the dragon.
Okay, sounds good. He's gonna try to, like, hold on, 5, 10, 15. Okay, this works. 5, 10. Yeah, I'm gonna use my, like, here. Is it okay if I use, like, a dash to get to her? But would I be able to heal her?
Yeah. I mean, you can use your cunning action to dash.
Okay, perfect. I'll get right here, and I'm gonna do a level 2 Cure Wounds.
Beautiful.
Yummy, yummy. Bruh. I mean, it's alright. 6 health.
Why
Hey.
do I have such an awful headache?
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Just, here, try to get up. And a
I'll
sandwich?
try. Ugh.
All right. And is that your turn, Dawn?
All done.
All right. Neonatrix.
Okay. How far is the dragon off the ground?
It is about 30 feet in the air.
Okay. So Nia is going to run over here, underneath the dragon, and she is going to... which one of it is it?
Yeah, bonus action
That
to
one, I
to
think?
make her blade psychic. Yeah, and then she can make 2 attacks.
Okay, I'd like to make 2 psychic... This is soul knife, not psychic blade, okay? Yeah, 2 soul knife attacks, and this is unarmed strike. Cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, those both hit.
And I want to do another effect. Oh no, not that one. I guess I'll spend a key point to start fire your blows, so I get another attack. I'm pretty sure I can do it. 'cause
Well, I think Flurry of Blows uses up your bonus action, so you can't do that on this turn.
Okay. Done.
So yeah,
Oh,
I think
and-
that's all you can do. Extend your range and then.
Okay.
But yeah, Nia focuses in on creating these 2 sort of psychic blades that boom, boom into the dragon's belly, and you see its flying is getting a little bit more erratic. It still looks fairly strong, but it's noticeably more ragged than it was when it first arrived.
Okay, so this snowbank, can Neo walk up that?
Which one?
Just to the north. Is that something she can climb?
That one is it's fairly steep. The other 2 you could probably just walk up.
Okay. Well, Nia is going to run over to the top of this one and try and get the dragon's attention. And she is going to yell at the dragon, "Hey, pick on someone who stole something from you!" And she is going to tauntily wave the dragon dagger in its direction.
The dragon is still facing Alcana and Dawn, but you see that one glowing eye just rolls around in its head without moving the rest of it, focusing right on Nia.
Oh, maybe that's taunt. Okay, and not tricks. Well, I've got this Gunqua is right in front of me on the ground, so I am going to hit him with a stick. Bam. And I'm going to then punch him with my fist.
Hit him with the stick and punch him with your fist. You hit him with the stick. He's kind of go upside the head. And you see that it leaves a dent in his breastplate. And as he's still wobbling so much from the force, your fist just, you think you hit him, but it just hits nothing but empty feathers. But you do get one pretty strong strike on him.
Okay, and that is my turn. Although, since it's his turn right afterwards, I am also going to throw spores at him.
Oh, yeah. All right, there they are.
Oh, maximum
Spores.
damage, 12. And he succeeds anyway.
So does he take half or none?
None.
All right. Try to create spores, but again, just with the way he's swinging around, hard to follow where he is. Turns back towards you, seeming to finally focus up, and once more rears his javelin back and tries to do 2 quick strikes towards your midsection.
Ouch.
Hits both times, just boom, boom. You feel these light puncture wounds in your belly.
So I need to do 2 concentration saving throws, I believe.
Yes.
DC is still 10 on. Okay, wow.
Yeah. But you still managing to stave off, keep concentrating on keeping him on the ground. Fox, he seems to see this, and need to check the range. I think that is, yeah, that is outside of his movement speed, but he oh no, he can dash as a bonus action. Yeah, he sees this happening. He says, Notrix, hold on! And he runs up, just dashing full speed. And you see him rear up his short sword and bam, bam, slamming it into this Avianzi. And that second one, he lays a little bit of sauce on it.
Yeah.
You see that as the sword comes down to Avianzi, it glows brightly, this holy light upon it. And he manages to do, let's see, what is that? A total of, oh dang, exactly enough damage as he, pooh! And as that last strike comes down, Gonqua shudders, kind of stumbles, and then boom, down on the ground unconscious.
Oh, thank you, Thor. It was just laying into you a little bit.
I could tell. Now we need to deal with that dragon. Oh, and Alkana, what are you doing?
I think that she's going to keep doing this thingy-mabob at range. Now she might want to heal up a bit at first.
I got
Maybe,
you.
maybe don't go near Nia, because Nia just taunted it.
Yeah.
Which may not be effective, because it's being mind-controlled and I might not care about the stolen good anymore. But I attempted to.
Yeah, I think she's gonna head over there. She is going to use 10 points of lay on hands on herself. Then I'm going to use foresight to change one of her spells.
Nice.
And have her bring up Shield of Faith.
Beautiful. So is that affecting yourself?
Yeah, it's affecting herself, so her AC is now 20.
Yeah, so you duck behind the snowbank and you suddenly this shimmering aura surrounds you. Meanwhile, this dragon is sort of flitting up in the sky. It gets up about 10 more feet before it kind of fixes its eye on Nia. And you hear this low growl as it sweeps toward you, Nia. This little thief. Claws outstretched. It is going full on the attack.
Ah!
Just
Okay.
crimps you up in its jaws, and then one claw tearing at you, another one tearing at you before throwing you down back into the snow.
Fortunately, monks have a thing against fall damage, don't they?
Yeah, but I think, is Nia still standing after all of that?
Yes.
Oh,
Just.
very nice. And that is the end of its turn. One success, two failures for the Avianzi. Dawn and Logie.
Don can heal people. Oh, hey, how you doing? Okay. Don wants to use his dash to get like right behind Nia, and he's gonna cure wounds. Let's do level 3. Level 3 cure wounds. Bam. All right.
Okay.
8, 14 altogether, and then with his bonus action, yeah, why not? He'll hit a blood bolt. Yeah. I don't think it hits.
Yeah, do this blood bolt, but it just whizzes past this angry dragon's head. You can see bits of like Nia's blood still dripping from its fangs.
All right.
So, the dragon is it flying in the air or has it landed on the snowbank?
Yeah, right now it's on that snowbank.
So, having observed this dragon, would you say it how quickly can it get into the air? Does it need to make an effort, or is it just boom, it's
It
flying?
seems like it can get into the air pretty easily. You don't have a really strong wind picking up right here, so it can just whoosh up at a moment's notice.
Right. I still want to try this though. How steep is the snowbank again?
It's not very steep.
Ah. Yeah, never mind. Probably
Yeah,
not.
Nia's maybe
I'll
10 feet up at its highest point.
Okay, I'll just shoot it twice then. That's easier.
You shoot twice. Both of these shots go wide. You see one of them kind of burn a hole into the snowbank. The dragon does not even spare a second glance towards you, Logi. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, let me roll for the blink.
All right.
That's not a success.
Okay. Nia Notrix, Team Double N.
Whew, okay, Nia is face to face with a dragon. Fortunately, she doesn't have a phobia of dragon. Okay. Well, she is going to slash at it in the face. At its one organic eye. She's going to aim the first 2 attacks.
Yeah, you make one of these slashes across the face. Does manage to hit it. Kind of closes its eye and opens it. You can see there's just this line, what'll become like a bloody scar over that part of its face.
Okay, and for her unarmed strike, I'm going to do a soul knife this time. And I believe that misses.
Yeah, that misses, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, Nia is going to book it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess she runs. Well, actually, maybe there's that. Runs over there going, no. Or not, maybe not
Yeah.
that, but something equivalent to that I can't think of. Something that sounds more cool.
Hey, that's a
Sure.
character.
Half rolling down the snowbank, popping up to her feet as she gets onto more solid ground and just dashing across. One eye, independently of the others, follows Nia's movement. What about Notrix?
Oh, right, I forgot about him. Oh man, this dragon has resistance to magic, and he's a very magic person. So. Ugh. I am going to cast a cool thing. Notrix is going to cast Summon Fae. Okay, so
Oh, wow.
I haven't used this
All
before
right.
yet.
Yeah, this is your first time using this one.
Yeah, I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, why not? So,
It's just one Fey spirit, right?
it is one Fey Spirit, and its stats change based on what level I casted the spell at. And it has, I cast
Okay,
level
so
4.
how many HP, how much AC does it have?
Would you like, how about you just continue with your turn and I'll put all that in for you?
Okay, all right, that's fine. But yeah, I just put that on the map, and I think you can control that. So yeah, with that, Gonquad just lies on the ground, unconscious. It looks like maybe he'll pull through. Hard to know, though. Fox, meanwhile.
Oh, and one interjection. I'll say that the Fey Spirit, this particular instance, It looks like
Uh-huh.
a large shimmering wolf.
Ooh, very
Ah.
nice. Yeah, you all see this ethereal wolf kind of materialize on the ice in front of all of you.
The irony.
Yeah. Fox looks over towards the dragon and he says, "Oh, I do not want any more of this." And he just pushes past this wolf, up, rushing right up to where this dragon is, kind of past Logi, and he is just going to try to cut into it as much as he can. And he's swiping and swiping, and you see just his short sword bouncing off of its scales, not managing to penetrate at all. And as he stops, he kind of has this worried expression on his face.
Arcana is still a thing.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I usually roll for Fox on his own, or one of you guys rolls. What is Alcana doing?
I think she's going to... Well, I think she is going to run, sort of vanish, and then reappear using Misty Step behind the dragon, and then take a couple of swipes at it.
Okay. All right, so there's just a sudden.
And one of them connects. Let's
Yes.
throw on a smite in there. Second level.
Oh, very nice. Let's see that. Okay, this is not an undead or an aberration, but still, yeah, that's 15 plus 9, 24 points of damage. So yeah, there is just this suddenly a cloud of mist at this dragon's tail with this, you just see the shining blade before you see the arm wielding it. Whoo! Cut down into it, and you actually like slice off a sizable chunk of this dragon's tail.
Do I happen to get a weapon by slicing off this dragon's tail?
No.
That was a reference to something.
Yes, it was!
Yeah, you hear this this cry as it sweeps itself back up into the sky. Alcana and Fox can take attacks of opportunity on it. Now Fox manages to connect. Yeah, you see Fox sort of urge his sword forward, and it just cuts this long gash in its tail. But with that, oops. He does not move the statue over, but he flies out, and then he kind of settles down over here a distance away before puffing out its chest again. This fiery lightning across Fox, Wait, is Logi there, or is Logi in the Shadow Realm?
He's there. I didn't get high enough.
Yes. Across Fox, across Logi, across Dawn. I need all three of those characters to roll dexterity saving throws.
Fuck!
Actually, I don't need to roll that for Fox, because even if he succeeds, is not high enough. So all of you take 55 points of fire damage as you just see part of the snowbank just as this beam of fire disapparates. You can see that there's just this big channel in the snowbank. You all feel charred. You see Fox for the third time this fight go down lying on the ice, his clothes just looking blackened at this point before the dragon kicks off again. It gets about 15 feet up into the air.
How much damage was that, did you say?
55 fire damage. 5. He's been
Dawn
rolling
is-
pretty good on his on his breath. And oh wait, that would have hit the ambusher, would have hit the Avianzi too. Oh yeah, that Avianzi's super dead now.
Okay.
Roast chicken.
All right, Dawn and Loki, you have just been charred. What are you going to do about that?
I'm gonna roll my death save because I'm
Oh,
on the
crap.
ground.
Oh no.
So here's a question: how tall and steep is the snowbank like behind the dragon right now?
That one's pretty steep. It does not look like it's easy to climb. And actually, right here, it looks like is the frozen over entrance to the temple itself.
And it's got a lot of snow, has it?
Quite a bit, yeah. This dragon is 15 feet in the air right now, though, just to remind you.
15 feet in the air. Okay, probably not then. So, is it difficult terrain to try to climb this snowbank right next to Loki?
I'll say that now that he's melted part of it, it's not really difficult terrain.
Okay, I'll move over here and cast Spare the Dying on Dawn.
Ooh.
Oh, thank goodness.
Man, is this the first time you've cast that?
It's the second time I've cast that.
That was the first time.
It was fairly recently, I think. It was here in the wilderness. I can't remember what it was.
So yeah, Dawn, you are still unconscious, but you're stable. Don't need to roll death saves.
He's now dreaming happily. Thank you.
And is that your whole turn, Loki?
Yeah, I'll just have to roll for the shadow thingy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Double lens.
Okay. So, Nia is going to, unsurprisingly, well, actually, she's going to step up. She's going to slide under its wing, and as she's sliding under the wing, just try and cut the wing with her dagger. That's just thematic. I don't know if they'll do anything. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, it is 15 feet in the air, though.
Oh crap! I wasn't paying attention because I was writing this thing. Okay, I won't do that because that's stupid. Sorry. Nia is going to use her bonus action to do her psychic blades, and instead throw 2 of those at the dragon.
Okay, let's see them blades.
Okay. So she's got psychic blades and psychic knives. I've got to figure out which one this one is.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a confusing character.
Psychic. Okay, it's soul knife. Okay. That is not tricks. Oh wait, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, the first one manages to hit. She kind of focuses in, and you see this pulse of psychic energy emerge from her hand and through the dragon's wing. It sort of half rolls over in the air. It's still hanging on, but it's looking very rough right now. But it also has this dull rage in its eyes. You get the sense it does not have a self-preservation instinct at this point.
And since I think I get to do this for free, I'm going to use this ability. And
oh yeah, you can only use that if you're using your flurry of blows, which uses your bonus action.
I forgot that point again. Never mind. That is Nia. Oh, that is Nia's turn. I guess just walk over here because she can. And now the face spirit will go. Let me see.
Ooh.
Oh, fun.
So how high is the dragon again?
15 feet.
And how high are the statues?
The statues are about like 8 feet tall, I'd say.
Okay. If I was standing on the statue, could I melee attack the dragon?
Yeah, I'd allow that.
I think the math works out. Okay. So. Whoops. I just need to measure some. I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. 1 second. Here we go. So the wolf bounces towards the dragon. Then mid step, it teleports and appears on top of the statue.
Ooh.
And well, uh, it is going to bite with advantage on the first attack because I forgot to mention this, but I'm going to summon at the fuming phase.
Oh,
So
very nice.
whenever it teleports, it gets that. And yeah, so it is going to multi-attack twice. With the first attack.
Let's see it.
That's
That's enough. Tell me what it looks like as your fuming face spirit takes down a full-on dragon.
okay.
Ah!
So this wolf bounces along the ground and then disappears, with a flash and reapparates on top of the statue. Then it jumps up and with its big mouth, with its wolf mouth, it clamps down on one of the dragon's legs, and the combined weight of both of them pulls it and the dragon downwards onto the ground. And when it is on the ground, the dragon crashes down on its back, and the wolf jumps up and again lashes out with its mouth and wraps its teeth around the dragon's throat. And after a few moments, the dragon stops moving.
Yeah, you see the dragon just sort of stop moving as it is. You see it bleeding from its mouth, this blackish blood that seems to almost burn away part of the ice. There's this foul ichor, and then as the life finally dies from its living eye, and it is gone.
Don's still
I didn't mean to roll that.
Final
Done!
attempt at animal handle.
Throw some cure wounds on Dawn.
Oh, thank you. What happened? Where are we? What?
Well, it seems that our assailants are dealt with. I was
What?
nervous for a moment there.
Thank God. Jeez. Well, hey. At least now we know. We can take him.
I hope we don't have to do that in the future.
That was grueling. You see Fox, his face just blackened, his clothing charred all over.
You need some help with healing too.
I can manage. Or wait, no, he doesn't say that because he's still unconscious on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Alcada's gonna go ahead and use cure wounds on him too.
Okay.
Oh, so strange. It's like I can hear Forks even though he's lying there on the ground.
Speaking of unconscious people, while this conversation is happening, because Nosh is all over here, I guess he'll grab a couple of ropes and attempt to tie Gonqua up. Because as far as I know, he's still alive.
He is, and it looks like he'll probably pull through even if he's not in the best state.
That's what
you
Patrick
pull-
is standing.
You pull Arnold Fox to his feet. He candidly has a cure on wounds himself, and he's looks pretty rough, but he's on his feet. And he says that thing that I said that he said a minute ago.
You look like a Windtumber roast. Yeah, right?
I'll pull through, but if they came back, attacked us here, I'm not completely certain what it means other than things are worse than I had first anticipated.
I mean, obviously something's taken over Gonqua. They weren't acting right.
Yes.
Hey, Natrix, is Gonqua dead?
No, he's still living. I'm making sure he won't be able to fly or hopefully not even walk if he wakes up. Although I have doubt as to whether he'll be able to say anything if his mind is truly not his own.
Might be worth giving it a try, you know?
Hmm.
At the very least, I feel bad about killing the guy. Even though he is a
Hmm.
bird.
Oh, he just killed 2 other birds. He didn't seem to feel too bad about those.
Yeah,
Actually, we didn't kill either of them. They were both killed by the dragon. Never mind.
they were killed by. Hey, therefore, we don't have to take blame for that one.
Hmm.
Only the dragon. But yeah, okay. Let's wake this guy up. That wants to fly over. And is he
Oh, yeah.
fully tied up?
Ah,
Yeah, Meltrix, you've tied him up pretty securely. You know, there's no pressure here, so I'll say that working you managed to get a knot that you're very confident in.
yeah, 2 ropes. One across both of his wings, then one around his body, binding him. Are you sure you want to wake him up now, or I guess it can't
Maybe
hurt?
we can- Should we?
Wait till everyone to get fit. Everyone get over here first, so we can deal with him if he uses violence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we all come together, and I guess
You
Ron
all
wakes
approach,
him
kind
up.
of surround him.
Can I control Nia again?
Yeah, if you want to.
You're better at doing her
Us.
voice.
Unless you want to RP her, Leighton.
No, you do her voice better than I do.
Okay. Nia also walks over, and yeah, I think she would help Leighton make sure the ropes are tied, and then she would kind of like shake him awake.
Yeah, it still seems pretty beat up. I feel like you might need to lay, like, say, 1 point of healing on him.
Like 1 point yet.
I
she
mean,
needs...
I could just literally do 1 point of lay on hands.
There you go.
It's like
Yeah,
Sneelock all over again.
yeah. Alcana, you reach down, feel the warmth under your hands, and oh.
Are you
Hey.
okay?
It's the eye.
He kind of is trying to look past you to the dragon dead on the ice.
What have you done to the eye?
The eye.
Can we sort of insight check him to see, like, does he seem like he's himself?
Sure, roll insight. There's still something off about him.
She would probably communicate that to the group telepathically.
Huh.
Don't worry about the eye.
And Fox says, well, I guess while he's bound, there would not be any hurt in trying. And he brings out that gold crystal, presses it to the back of Gonqua's head. Gonqua kind of shrugs his shoulders, like kind of tries to almost pull his head forward away from it. Not like he's in pain, but almost as if there's just something, it feels almost magnetically repulsive about it. This goes on for about a full minute. There's no other effect. And when Fox finally pulls it away, Gonqua still has this daisy, unfocused, strange look about him.
Didn't work, huh?
I did not really expect it to.
Well,
You can see just Elkanah have this extremely pained look on her face. I don't want to have to do this again.
Look, let's see if he snaps out of it with time. I mean,
But you
She
heard what
looks
Hawk
at him.
said. It could take months.
yeah. But hey, you see us, right? Like, you hear us?
You ask if I hear you. You're all around me. Of course I hear you. I see you.
Oh, okay. In that case, why are you calling him the Eye of the North?
It is what they are. They have the eye. They are the eyes. Well, they are not of the north anymore.
So the North is alive? She's okay?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion. Ugh,
Just kind of stares at you.
I think Don pulls out the I'm sorry, why am I blanking on the name? The tooth pullers, and he clanks them and says, "Hey, answer the lady."
Persuasion fails. Try intimidation.
You're trying to intimidate a creature that does not have any teeth.
They have teeth, right?
No! Birds don't have teeth, Dawn.
Well, would it be worse if I rip off his beak? That's a giant tooth, ain't it?
God.
Roll intimidation with disadvantage.
Damn it!
Idea. Take off his tongue.
Wait, that was Nia. I'm sorry. Hold on. Persuade, intimidation.
Okay, that's still pretty good.
What were my
And
disadvantage rolls? Sorry, go
kind
ahead.
of looks, you can see those feathery brows furrowed at these clamps, not fully understanding what they're for, but knowing that they're bad. North has taken command of the ice, has sequestered her chamber away from the rest of us. She cannot see. Maybe she still thinks she is the weather maker.
The weather maker? You've talked about that a lot, but what is it?
Weather maker. He's a fool. Weather maker is a slave.
A slave to who? Or to what?
To things that are worthless. To things that are proud. To things that are pompous and mean and cheap.
Donna, are you satisfied with that vague answer?
Not really. Clank, clank.
A weather maker. The North. They are in the same body, in the same person, but two very different personages. Weathermaker was the mount, was the slave of the Horned King.
Ah, now that is a better answer.
So, her personality shifted?
It is
Well,
a
she-
mystery of a sort of divinity.
So, she has two personalities. One, the somewhat benevolent, modern Queen of the North, and one that is just a mount, or an older one.
Much more than a mount, is an agent, is an executioner, is a symbol of terror.
And he's after us.
The North is sequestered. The North soon will be dead.
How often? Well, I don't know if this question matters, but how often did this other personality manifest before she died?
Not that I am ever seeing.
Let's see. And what makes you so confident that she'll be dead soon?
sort of tries to pull against the bonds but doesn't go anywhere else.
It makes you think. Oh, I do not need to say anything else. If you're going to kill me, then do it.
I'm so sorry that this had to happen to you. And yeah, now you can kind of see tears forming in Alkana's eyes.
This is bad. Even if the North wanted to kill us, it's terrible that she's turned into that. Or been taken over by whoever he is.
Well, it's even worse that it seems a majority of her followers seem to be not following her anymore.
But following the weatherman. Yeah.
Folks, I thought you said half the crystal would just cause madness.
I did not think it could do this, but it seems... I do not know if this is that secretly Gonqua had nothing but contempt for the North, or if it's somehow stronger this far in Forinthry, or if maybe even there was something else already there. I do not know, something that found them or something that was even waiting.
Hmm.
And let's hope this effect is isolated to just these and not the entire. Well, that might be a frivolous hope, based on what he's already said.
He turns towards Gonquan. How many have turned against the North? Gonqua, he kind of gives a smile.
Almost half. But soon more. Soon more.
How? You weren't against the North before. What made you turn?
Ignores you.
I think we know the answer to that question already.
Yeah, I just wanted confirmation. Alright.
Well, don't you want the opportunity to preach your new movement? If so many of the North's followers are following a new figure, maybe we could be convinced.
We follow no one. We need no one. We are our own. We follow each other.
I see. Could you convince us to be a part of that? Wink. By telling us more about it.
This kind of sly look to the eyes as they close slightly, and he says,
No.
Are you sure you can't convince us? Clank, clank.
it seems to test the bonds again. Nothing.
I feel like that line of
I
questioning.
gave my answer.
Yes, that line of questioning might not go anywhere.
Ugh.
You can see Okana's just kind of looking into the snow, also looking sad.
And, Alright, here's a question. It's kind of like what Nia asked, but what causes someone to turn to, your cause? What magical... Is there some kind of magical force?
Ignores you.
Hey, answer the question.
Maybe try a different avenue of questioning.
Nia kind of kneels
What
down.
is it that you most want? What is your deepest heart's desire?
The ignorant understand.
The ignorant understand what?
Understand does not need to be qualified.
Ah, but we're not ignorant, so it must be explained to us.
You are ignorant. And with that, he sort of manages to finally find a loose place in his binds. And you see he takes that javelin that is sort of on its back and throws himself onto the tip of it. And it just through his chest, up through his neck, and out of the bottom of his beak. And blood coming out of his mouth.
Oh my god!
And he's dead.
What?
Ah,
Damn it!
No, that's somehow even worse. Who is this?
Don puts away his clamps. God damn.
that was probably for the best.
Alcana probably would then kind of kneel beside him and say something of a prayer of repose that, well, this influence has left him when he fell. And that
Probably
his soul be guided safely to the beyond.
We probably could have done it less painfully, too. Damn it.
Well, it was either that or one of us would have had to do it eventually.
Yeah.
I think you would understand my reservations towards doing that.
Of course. As far as, well, just a few hours ago, or sorry, just a day ago, he was a completely fine person, although a bit against us.
Here, hold on. She's gonna search him real fast. Like, see if there's anything, like, important or interesting on his person.
So, yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
Fun. Investigation. Oh, not disadvantage.
You go through him, find a couple more javelins kind of among his stuff in his behind his chest plate that now you see has this big sort of puncture in it. Interesting javelins. They seem to like actually have three parts and sort of almost unfold and snap together. You can see that there is a small pouch with these little greenish gems. Nothing to you seems to suggest that there's anything magical about them, and they don't look immensely valuable, but they look like they must have at least had some importance. You find another little pouch with a bit of some kind of like a combination of these hard seeds and bits of like biscuits or cereal. That doesn't seem like he was carrying very much on him.
Interesting. I wonder what these gems are for.
Probably had some kind of sentimental value.
Well, what are we gonna do with his body? Maybe we could bury him with them.
That's really the best we can do for him now.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well keep the gemstones. I mean, he doesn't need them.
Well, I mean, well,
We
she
could
holds it up.
use one of the javelins to mark his grave.
There we
Oh.
go.
Sorry, Don, I just don't believe in leaving valuable goods in the graves of the dead.
So, for digging this grave, this is an idea that just pops into my head. Can I use my burning hands to heat up the permafrost so I can actually dig?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, Lo, you position yourself over here, create this aura of fire on your hands, and you see the ice kind of melt away until it gets to a layer of actually somewhat workable soil. But as you pull your hands away, you notice something else. That there's a little bit of water that stays down there, and not only that, it's not just pooling. There's a little movement in it, as if there's like a very tiny spring that you somehow managed to unearth by melting this permafrost.
Oh.
Well,
Hmm?
Almost like if you can imagine, like just puffing slightly on a straw from underneath a body of water.
uh, I'm not sure I entirely understand. Is this like uh, is it attached to the ground?
Yeah, look, you melt like sort of the permafrost, and you've got this damp earth, but then you see among all of this damp sort of water there's a little bit of it that is bubbling very slightly. It's not just the still frost that you've melted.
Oh,
Hmm. Interesting. Wait, does Nia see this?
Yeah, you all see this.
Ah,
Are there any
Okay.
signs around that this spring once flowed into a larger waterway? I don't know, like a very small riverbed somewhere.
Mm, not that you can see here, with sort of all of this ice and snow around, and uh, it's not a strong spring. It is like literally a tiny little bubbling of water. It's the sort of thing that could, you know, maybe fill a 2 gallon barrel if it was out there for literally the entire day.
could I use my shape water cantrip to move the bubbling bits up?
To move the bubbling.
Yeah, because it's like moist, right, or something.
Yeah, you can. What are you trying to do with your shape water?
Um, I'm not. I'm still not entirely sure what this is. Um,
Collect it in your like drinking pouch, maybe.
It's like
Yeah.
water coming out of the ground,
It's just
very
like
slowly.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just going to take that water with my shape water and put it somewhere to look at it.
Like into a little cup or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have a cup, but
I'm pretty sure we have water skins.
Oh yeah, you've got water skins. Yeah, you use that and sort of make this water flow up into the air and into your water skin.
is it just normal water?
Uh, you sort of smell it. Smells a little bit hard, a bit metallic, but it's not like it's viscous or turning into some kind of a magical thing in your flask.
Um, can Nia like put her hand over the bubbles and just feel if it's like hot or not?
Uh, yeah, and you put out your hand, and it's not like not scalding hot, but it's definitely warm.
Huh. Is this mountain a volcano or something?
Hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be too out of the realm of possibility.
No, it wouldn't. I guess we'll keep that in mind when we go inside then.
It might not be important, but well, we did see from the air all those frozen pools of different colors.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
I don't know if that's related to this,
maybe.
but there's none of the pools nearby. This is just a courtyard by the look of it. Or maybe there was once a fountain here.
Hmm.
Yeah, not pools in this sort of courtyard area, but there are a few not far off.
Alright. Well, anyways, Are we done exploring the grave? Can we use the grave for the grave purpose?
You mean? Well, you got to.
Oh yeah, I was just clearing out the grave. I wasn't just doing something useless.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you lay Gonkwa to rest in here. Presumably cover him over with snow or with whatever's available, or maybe you actually do shovel out some earth.
And then stick a javelin above it to sort of mark the grave site.
Yes. A little while later, the grave is marked, single javelin sticking up.
Hmm.
Oh, now that that's over, did we get a good look at that cart? I think, or just the animal?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the animal was kind of torn up. Hold on. Where is the cart?
It's right over here.
Oh, I
Yes,
see it.
I don't think
Okay.
we checked the cart itself for any contents.
Can Nia walk up to it? And take
Sure, yeah.
investigation? No, breathe in.
Yeah, you kind of pull away the shattered bits. It mostly, yeah, it's hard to make out. Bits of the metal and wood are all just sort of torn up around each other. It just looks like a whole bunch of refuse now.
There's nothing really interesting in here.
Just the cart.
Just a cart.
Okay. Can Notrix tentatively approach the body of this dragon then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look into its magic eye and see if there's any movement in it still.
You look at its eye, no movement.
Just looking inactive now.
Yeah, just resting there. And it's that same sort of glassy, quartzy stuff as that other eye that you picked up.
Well, it looks like the vision requires the beast to be alive.
Help. Yeah, where's the dragon? Like right here, maybe? I think that's where it died.
Yeah, that's where he was.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to insist we have to bury the dragon too.
No.
Sorry, big guy. You're a little you're a little bit of work.
Fox turns towards you and he says, I'm not certain how long we should be loitering around here on the surface.
Yes, let's go what we came here for, so... I'm not going to say so that a tragedy like this never happens again. It's naive to think that before, but so we can, well, make a move on cramping it spreading further.
Right.
Well
And I'm
said.
thinking that then she would start making moves towards the door with a sense of purpose.
I'm just going to take 1 minute and go over and have a look at these pools. One of these pools very briefly. Then I'll be back.
All right. Yeah. Roll an investigation or a perception check for the pools.
Yeah, not looking in depth. Just I walk over to see it close.
Yeah. Or a nature. Actually, okay. Actually, I think it would be nature. I think perception, all you see is they are frozen. They look like they formed sort of smoothly in these, from what you can tell from the patterns and like kind of waves of, you're not sure if that means like of a regular schedule of when it would bubble up or not, but of, yeah, of layers of some kind of hard mineral infused water leaving its sediment in layers underneath this large flat pool.
Okay, so I'll do a nature check then. I think that's what you're asking me to do.
I mean, it was going to be one or the other.
Oh, I thought you said... Right, okay. Never mind. I thought you said you wanted me to do a nature check instead. That's okay. Yeah, so
So,
Seeing that, I'm
uh,
unable to see anything else. Subjects returns, I guess.
Alkana, you approach the door, and you can see there is a bit of a heavily worn door frame there, made out of granite. You put together from what you saw elsewhere, the same sort of stone that makes up most of these mountains. As you wipe away some of that, you do see rough, a lot of its definition lost to the mountain, but a symbol like this at the top of that door frame. The doorway itself, though, is completely kind of iced over in what looks almost like a web or a net of ice that's studded with these large pockets of this sort of frozen, like mud or soil. It seems to be like glistening. It looks almost wet to the touch.
I think she might touch it to examine it in more detail.
You reach out your hand and touch it, and it is cold, very cold. And as you pull back your hand, you realize that it's already that liquid has frozen, made a layer of ice between your hand and this door. Make a strength saving throw.
Oh shit. No!
And your hand is stuck to this door, and you feel the cold pulsing through it. You feel almost as if your extremities are getting frostbite. You take 4 points of cold damage.
I think seeing
That's
a kind of
not
struggle,
smart!
we're going to try and pull her off the door.
Dawn helps
All
too.
right. You all line up to help Alkana. Alkana, make another strength save with advantage. And this time, you manage to pull your hand away from this door, this oddly sort of odd web of ice and earth and water that's somehow completely cold up this door.
So there isn't any obvious way to open it.
That certainly isn't normal ice, though.
What would happen if she summoned the Eldritch Truth and used that to tap the ice?
Summons truth, tap the ice with it. It just taps on it. Nothing unusual seems to happen. You look through the sword, it looks like ice.
Am I able to manipulate it with shape water?
Is that what you do, Logie?
I'll try.
You walk up to it, Logie. You try to manipulate it with shape water, and immediately it's not just shaped like you would with regular water. It seems to react almost as if it was waiting for you. All of this net of ice twisting around itself, and the earth around it separating into these two globes that seem to circle each other in the doorway. And the way is open for you.
Oh,
Good job, lady.
Yes, quick thinking.
I didn't think that would work.
Oh, it
I
certainly
didn't think so
worked.
either.
No.
Yeah.
You look through the doorway, the chamber dark beyond.
How does it look for me with my wonderful invocation?
You can faintly see that there are extending forward these regular sort of pillars and arches over a large empty-ish space, and you see that it seems like the floor descends a little bit the further down or the further in you go. It's difficult to make out details, but you think you might see a figure sitting on, you're not sure if it's a box or a piece of rubble or what in there.
Oh no.
Right,
I hope it's a statue and not like a creepy fairy or anything.
let's light up
There
some
might be
torches, I
something
think.
in there. I'd have to look closer to check.
Can we get some torchlight so we can all see properly?
Here, I got you.
I think she has a torch.
Because I don't
Um,
have any for some reason.
So Nia lights a torch. Is she the first one in?
Sure.
Does everyone else follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you all follow Nia, holding up a torch, you can now see a figure, seemingly to sit on this just large rectangular block of marble. It looks sort of old, hunched, holding out this large sheet of parchment. As he hears you, he kind of folds it in half, and you hear his voice say, I had been pondering how long it would take to witness your arrival. And with that, let's go ahead and end this session.
Damn it!